Hey y'all, welcome to the Unfiltered Dirty Air podcast. My ass is not going to bed because I got told we're doing a podcast by like 8 of us. Late start, but I guess we got some shit we want to talk about. So I'm just gonna listen tonight and chime in whenever I get a chance. But yeah, there's a shit ton of people in here. I see Tommy Reynolds. He's just a car. We got Brandon Fetterplace. We got Matthew Kent, which is like what, 6, 7 in the morning or something like that for you.
11:30 in the morning, lunchtime, baby.
11:30 in the morning. Ryan, of course. Toby. We got Smeal, and we got Tommy Withers with us as well. So full house.
Absolutely full house. So let's get right into it. So obviously, we'll take a little snippet of Ignition. It's a great race. Zach Millett just destroyed the field. It was in a different zip code. He was fast. He's always fast. So talk about that. Two of y'all, Toby and Smeal, y'all were in it. So kind of talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get into the controversy.
Go ahead, Smeal. I'll let you lead it off.
Overall, our mile and a halves have been really good. Ignition in general, we've had very few cautions outside of the stages. Zach Millett, anytime he shows up, he spanks the field like it's X-rated. It's not even close. Toby was the closest out of all of us. I showed up, 8 minutes before qualifying, and tried to not kill the field. So I didn't have a great race. I don't know, Toby, how your race went.
Well, it was a fun race. Kansas, it's Kansas. It's either you run the top or the bottom. Ran the bottom trying to save tires, and obviously that didn't help because, the leader was in another zip code. But, yeah, it was just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird. It's just, for me personally, it didn't seem like there was a lot of racing going on. I wish there would have been. I wish we would have had a lot more restarts or, maybe one less set of tires and another stage break maybe would have made it better. But at the end of the day, he was fast as hell. So it is what it is. But live to fight another day.
So what do you guys think about look towards the 24 future with Millett in competition with the other high speed drivers that we have across the ARCS community? What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Me personally, I'm all for Millett and any of the other faster guys to show up. I enjoy racing people that are faster than I am, or as fast, whatever the case may be. I've been trying to get Millett in A squared since I knew he was racing in Xfinity, so.
I actually sent him an invite to run in Prophecy Motorsports when I had an opening, but he couldn't quite commit at the time.
Maybe he'll nut up next season and come racing with us.
Look at me.
He spanks all of us.
Yeah, look at me. The first season I ran TNT, I did fantastic. I won a bunch of races, right? And then the next season, it's almost like I'm not even there, and there's this new driver that comes out of nowhere. That's the glory of what we do here. So, just because you're fast one season, next season, somebody's probably going to come in that's a lot more quicker than you are. It's never like there's a, consistent person of running out front. I know Aiden, he's dominated a lot this season, and I'm sure we'll get to him later, but, roll around next season. You take Millett, for example, maybe he starts running a little bit of everything, and he's the guy on top. Me and Cody had a lot of good battles last season and the season before that. I don't know, man. It's just like as soon as you get used to somebody running out front, somebody comes out of nowhere and they're fast as shit, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope. That's what you want, though. I mean, in a league.
Right. We always want better competition. I mean, you don't want to
Yeah.
be stale. I think I had said that before, Ryan. I think it was the last podcast or some here recently. I said, you don't want to be the fastest guy winning all the races in your own league.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
recruit people that are much faster than you and make you better. So I mean, I don't care. Get some more pro guys in here. Get a bunch of people in here. It's cool.
I'll tell you something. I read the Ignition chat post race. There's 5 or 6 messages, and it was a real like progress meter when I saw. I think it was Pacey, Markowski, and McBride. I'm pretty sure they probably finished what 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere in that realm.
Something
And they were like, man, that was a whole lot of fun. Strategy, you caught me. We were all racing around each other, and they were all good finishing mid pack because they were just like we were racing good and clean, and it was what they could accomplish for that day. And I think when you get to a pack of 25, 30 cars, people got to be okay running 15th and having good racing around those people that are in your speed for that day at that track.
Who was the new person?
Pacey.
Double O?
Yeah,
He
Pacey.
seemed to be pretty quick.
Yeah, he's run OST. Actually I had a long talk with him the other night. Me and him were in the sports bar together, and really didn't realize that I actually kind of knew him back from Xbox days. He ran in a couple other leagues that ARCS competed with in the tournament, and it was really cool to see, to talk to him and really understand, where he came from, and the fact that he came from Xbox was pretty cool. But yeah, we talked, and I told him, I was like, well, are you looking to run anything else? He was like, well, I'm kind of open like any night, and so I told him about Ignition. I told him about SNS. Reynolds, you gotta quit running the fucking Super Formula car. We can hear you in the background.
My bad.
My bad.
Try hard.
See, I knew what he was running. I knew what he was running when I heard it. Anyway, so yeah, I talked to Pacey one night late at night. He was showing me some of his the leagues that he was in, their broadcasts, and that's the kind of stuff I love. I love hanging out with people and learning their backstory, learning where they came from, and to know that I used to we didn't really it wasn't like he was in ARCS when we had Xbox, but we competed with him and some of his leagues and some of the tournaments we did. It was cool to see that, and we talked, and he was like, yeah, I can't do anything Saturday because I have another league that I admin in, so I try to get him in SNS, but obviously everybody has other obligations, so. But he was like, yeah, man, my Fridays are wide open. I was like, well, we have Xfinity, so come race, come hang out with us and show what you got, and he was like, yeah, I'll take you up on that. So he came out and ran tonight and did very well. He ran clean. He didn't cause any issues, and I think he ended up coming home like 5th or 6th. I think it was him, Dale, and Zach McBride that were all three battling for 4th. So that was a lot of fun to watch, and it's always just good. I mean, a huge shout out to Jack Mulkey and Steven Oberstadt for really bringing in a lot of new people for OST, but not only for OST, but they also branched out to other series like Pacey and there's several others that have not only showed interest in OST, but Connor Knowlton, he was like, oh yeah, man, sign me up for ARCS Extreme. I'm down. I'll come run dirt. Like, that's what this is all about. Getting new drivers in, and in one series, and then branching them out to all the series that we have to offer. That's really cool to me. So I was excited to have Pacey tonight, and he ran good, and hopefully we'll get some new people throughout the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, I actually think he was the fastest lap too.
Yeah, he had a fast
Yeah.
car. Strategy.
He
kinda
came out.
Killed him.
He
was
came out
driving
OST
long.
and won his debut. So and beat Purnell to do it, which is no small feat. There's OST has. I said this a couple weeks back. OST has really upped the ante when it comes into the recruiting realm, and that goes straight to the credit of Steven Oberstadt and Jack Mulkey making that a attractive item to come join, and then have it be a place to branch from into, like Ryan was saying, into the other divisions that are open inside the ARCS community. And I think that's what ARCS is kind of built off of, is like, oh, here's one avenue, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's 5 more you could branch into, and the community is of such a standing that people are like, hell yeah, sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. I'll spend my time with this group of guys and girls having a good race on whatever track we're on that night.
Yeah.
I've got a question. What's y'all's favorite series / car to run in A squared? Or in ARCS. I know what I like. I would love to see there be a UMP kind of thrown into the mix.
Man.
But as far as all y'all in here, what do y'all like? A little bit of dirt. Obviously, I know Ryan does, but
Yeah.
I would love to run a serious dirt series. Obviously, we have that, but what do y'all look forward to running to every week?
Gen
We have-
4 for me.
We have it now, you moron.
thought-
We run
Oh,
super late
y'all have-
models on Tuesdays.
No. I'm saying I was saying the UNP. I know we have a dirt series. I'm saying but what do y'all look forward to running to? Look forward to running every week.
Well, Withers said Gen 4 for the TNT series. Smeal, what's yours?
I love these Xfinity cars. But those late model stock cars are a blast to drive too. They're just a hoot.
Gripped up.
Yeah. Fat, what you got?
Clearly mine is going to be next gen. But I did have a lot of fun when we were running the jumpy trucks.
Oh yeah.
After our races.
Oh
Those were a lot of fun.
yeah.
Jumpy
That was
trucks.
pretty fun.
I think y'all let me feel good about myself winning a couple races, and I'm liable to get spanked in an actual series of them. But I had a lot of fun.
Reynolds, I'm guessing you're saying the SF.
Yeah, and I can't wait to run an ARC's newest series on Saturday nights.
Here's the shameless plug.
Here's your
But
plug.
yeah, I
Salesman.
fucking love this car already. It's only been out for a couple days, but I can't wait for an actual series of this thing on iRacing and even in ARC. So it's gonna be a fun ass car to drive. But a close second is definitely the next gen.
Feimster?
No. That we run, the Monday night cars are pretty fun. Right now, shit, I ain't running nothing but Sundays right now with my schedule. But late model stocks probably have to be some of the funnest cars you can run if you don't get into the ass end of people.
Yeah.
If it's clean racing, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, we were at Bristol this past Monday, and a couple early restarts where people were trying to get their footing, but then it was clean and clear racing all the way through, and those cars do have some fall off in them, just like any short track. But with the addition of the new guys that have come in, it's made those late models really fun. Even the extreme side, where we've been in legends and modifieds, and even that's been a lot of fun. I wasn't really a short track guy. I was more the mile and a half. That's where I found my pace. But as we've gone through the year, in the couple years I've been here, I've gone from still having pace at the mile and a half, but being able to have more pace at short tracks just through tire management. And because I know I don't have the raw speed of some drivers, but I have the long speed of that most drivers seem to fall off on after 15 or 20 laps. So that's where I kind of sit, is in that short track realm now. Good question, Toby.
So, elephant in the room. Are we ready?
Is the elephant even in this room?
I was gonna say, I mean,
No.
we can do
I
that,
didn't
or you
look.
can talk about TNT.
Yeah, TNT was a great race. I agree. I mean, Kentucky, it was great. I mean,
Man, we're segueing.
I'm sure
real
it
well.
was from Louisville, Kentucky. There.
actually,
Yeah.
when
So
Rick
I heard
James
that was your. I heard you grew up right down the street.
no, well, when Rick James interviewed me, he said Ryan Pennell from Louisville, Georgia, because I think he was high or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah, he said
He was
Ryan
extra
Pennell
high.
finishing second from our own Louisville, Georgia, and I'm like, there's no Louisville, Georgia. And then he said right after he said from the Kentucky homeboy, and I'm like, you just said Louisville, Georgia. Make up your mind. Am I from Louisville, Georgia, or am I from Kentucky? Come on now.
That's when you know you're not from Kentucky. Whenever you pronounce Louisville as Louisville, it's
Louisville.
Louisville.
I'm glad you said
Louisville.
it. I am so glad you said that, because if you didn't, I was. It's Louisville.
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 Yeah.
Hey, it was a night and day race from Daytona to Kentucky, so
Yeah.
you
Oh, a
know,
lot of it
obviously
set
the
up right.
session was messed up. That kind of threw a lot of it in there. Hey, I mean Daytona could have been one hell of a race if the session was set up right, but hey, shit happens. I'm glad it happened early in the season than late. So
Crunch time. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I always enjoy racing in Kentucky, but I showed up with like 2 minutes left in the session for qualifying. Hurried up and throw down a lap time, and I was listening to people say that the car was loose, so I set up for a loose car and ended up burning off the right front. And after
Hey,
about
dude.
5 laps, so
I've raced Kentucky in a lot of different cars, dude. Kentucky it's a hard ass track, like for real. No matter what car you run Kentucky at, it's
Mhm.
3 and 4. If you don't get 3 and 4 figured out, you're pretty well screwed. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1 and 2 is pretty. Everybody can run 1 and 2, but if you don't get 3 and 4 figured out, I mean,
It plays like Pocono does out of that last corner.
Yeah.
Where if you screw up the last corner, your front straightaway is awful and you lose time.
it's almost like Texas too.
Yep.
Like if you don't get it figured out, dude, if you don't put the time into Kentucky, obviously I've put in a lot of time at Kentucky. That's my hometown, racetrack. I love running it. Been to the track a lot of times, but it's a
spent
real
many hours trying to leave.
it's
trying to leave and get there.
3 and 4 is about as wide as old Bessie's ass. You know what I mean? So I mean, you got to figure out how to run it.
Yeah,
Very true.
I mean, I'm not mad. I mean, I finished 8th, I think. So I'm in a top 10 after no practice and showing up late. Hey, it is what it is. I can only blame myself, so I'm fine with it. It is.
Especially in the Gen 4 car. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
Gen 4 car. It's got a lot of horsepower in it. Dude, it for me, it almost felt like, I don't know, it's weird coming off of. I found the middle of 3 and 4 more difficult than any track I've ever ran in the Gen 4 car.
Yeah.
Like
They wanted to
Kentucky,
push.
in the middle of 3 and 4, I don't know, dude. It was weird.
I mean, I'll take your word for it, because I don't.
Yeah.
I have like very little experience with this car.
I woed it down. I woed it down so much just so that I could run the lefts on that black strip in the middle of 3-4. If I missed the black strip, he pushed up another lane and then had to oversteer it or really turn the wheel to get it to apex the corner the right way. Because Toby loves that word.
I mean, any other track, like in the Gen 4, like you're saving your right rear. And then you throw Kentucky into the mix and you're like, all right, well, what the fuck am I supposed to save here? The right front or the right rear? Which one is it?
Yeah, that's what I get.
Pick
for
your
listening to
poison.
everybody. I heard everybody in the chat. Oh, it's set up for a loose race car. It's really loose. You're gonna be.
At the end of the run,
Yeah.
At the end of the run, I'm actually curious about this. At the end of the run, my right front was, on a good run, was like 65, maybe 68. Bad,
Better than mine.
55, depending on how hard I was pushing it. Where were you guys at? My right rear. Even if I tried driving off of it, it didn't matter. It was like no matter what I did, the right front was just gone.
I never
What
got
was
a
y'all's?
warning from iRacing saying like the 50% mark. So I know I never reached that. My guess I was probably in the 60s as well. But I was still getting good rotation, but that was because I was really like out of middle corner exit off the rear end of the car trying to drive straight. So I had much slower entry speeds than everyone else, but a lot better exits.
I was saving from lap 1, so I really never had too much issues with tires because I was saving fuel from the drop of the green, so it worked out for me. But yeah, I never really had to worry about right front, or I mean my right front was low. It was like 68 I think on the first stop, but like I said,
I wish mine was like that.
Yeah, I mean I was.
You had a good strat.
I think I was 55 right front, and like 70 right rear. Like it was off.
I was saving so much fuel that I was lifting and lifting way early in 3 and 4 because I didn't really care about the tires. I was just saving fuel. So by doing that, I saved my tires too, and you know it was able to get me a second. But you know I didn't have anything for Aiden.
Yeah,
I'm glad Sears got a black flag. Otherwise, I would have finished 4th. Because you and him
got him.
Yeah, you and Sears, I think, was on the same strat, right, Ryan? I mean,
we were. He was
pretty close.
Yeah, he was about 2.5 seconds ahead of me, and he came down that first stop, and when he said he was pitting and I said I was pitting, Withers was on the same strategy as us too. He was just kind of stuck back because he didn't qualify, so he was kind of stuck further back. But yeah, when Sears said he was pitting that lap, I knew exactly what he was doing, and I'm sure he knew exactly what I was doing. I mean, it doesn't take much to see the leaderboard, you know, when 2 or 3 people stay out till, you know, lap 31, 32. I mean, that's, you know, we're obviously saving fuel trying to make it to the end. And he came down, and then he came over, you know, in the TNT chat. He was like, "Oh, iRacing police got me," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Well, I'm all by myself now." Yep. I'm like, "Well, I know I got him." I was like, "Now I just gotta keep Withers behind me," which I think he was like 5 seconds behind me. He was right there too in that strategy, but I was able to just keep enough speed to where it, you know, I didn't lose any other positions other than Aiden to get.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna come and pass you, but I had to save really hard that last run. I was clutching it pretty much the entire last run. So
did you have to save any?
No, the last stint I was right. I was 1 lap to the good for the whole last stint.
Because
we pitted with 30 to go.
Man, you pitted like really close.
Yeah, I wanted to push harder. We probably should have stayed out 1 extra lap, but like made it a 29 to finish. But I was pitting basically on Aiden's strategy, even though he was, you know, way out, because I think I waited 2 laps on the first one, and that, you know, put him way out in front. But after that, we were pitting off of his strategy, and then I was like, okay, once I'm inside my fuel window, I'm going to come in. That's going to give me those first couple laps with a 1.5 second advantage on the field, and that secured 4th for me. And I didn't know if Ryan was going to have the fuel to make it, so I was like, okay, maybe podium. And we pit on the same lap, me and Toby, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to catch him now because there's no advantage. We're going to come out the same way. So I didn't have to save except for that one little bit. I was right on the money with the laps.
See, I was pushing so hard I was like clutching at one point. And then finally, whenever I saved the fuel, I was like, all right, Ron, here we go, buddy. I'm going to catch you. And then my tires were like, no, you're not.
well, I started getting caught by lap cars. Like Tristan came out in front of me after he pitted, so he had better tires, so he kind of held pace in front. But then Richie caught me and Kerr caught me, and then I had to sit behind that. I was like, I'm not getting close to the Catania brother battle up here. 'Cause
Try
that-
somehow jumped like 10 spots one run. Like he
Mhm.
jumped way up there,
yeah, I don't know.
like 10 seconds. I don't know how he did it.
Who was
Well, it wasn't like
Christian.
Mongold that decided not
Oh.
to take tires on the first stop and then blew a right front.
Yeah.
Did he
I don't know
actually?
why I got a meatball.
Yeah.
I don't
That
get it.
actually happened.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know. My right front blew and I got a meatball. It's like, well, that usually happens when those happen. But how'd you blow the right front? Because I'm like, nobody's getting warnings. He goes, I didn't take tires on the first stop. No saving a set. And I was like,
Chicken
well, that
sandwich.
explains why you're 3 laps down now.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
should have
like
done
a
more
Lisbon
practice.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But hey, guys, I got about 10 minutes left here. Let's hop into some A squared stuff. 'Cause that's kind of where my realm of influence is a little bit, but also where I can talk about the 24 stuff coming up. So you guys got any questions? Because obviously Ryan has mentioned I kind of architect the rule book with the A squared admins. Now that I'm live and in person, y'all got any questions or comments or concerns going into the 24 year?
Well, now that
Can we
you're
start
here,
the
I got
rules now?
stage fright.
I got stage fright.
All right, I got it. So besides we kind of talked about the team changes last podcast. Besides the way the teams are changing, what do you think is the next biggest rule change in the book?
It's yet to be voted in or confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed yet. It's written as it's written right now. The caution rules could be a big change in that it's currently written as iRacing cautions will be turned on. That will leave no discrepancies as to what is and what isn't a caution. But then steps below it, so it says iRacing cautions are on. Then admin cautions if, and that's our normal rule, 2 cars spin out and no iRacing caution comes out. And then there's a third one that says eye in the sky. So if we have, say, like I'm still eye in the sky next year, then the top 2 iRacing cautions stay on, but the admin caution goes away. So that's how that rule could be a bigger change, but yet to be known, as we'll confirm it on the vote here coming up in a couple weeks. Other than that, I mean, obviously the independent drivers being able to run, but that's just normal. I don't think there's nothing that too big that's going to shake it up. There is definitely many more penalties, but they're all ones that if you just race right and smart and respectful, you'll never come in contact with the penalty system. The biggest change was the at-fault incidents and at-fault cautions, in which case you get 5 of those per year, and then you start accruing points penalties after that. So if you cause 5 cautions, the 6th caution you cause, you get a 5-point penalty. So it promotes clean racing, gives you a little bit of a buffer, but doesn't just smack you over the head from the get-go.
I must have been off La La Land. Did you say after 6?
So you get 5 free ones. So say at Daytona, in the first 5 races, you cause 5 cautions. So that's 1 per race.
Right.
Then you've used up your 5 allotment for the season. So when you cause a 6th caution in the 6th race, you're gonna get a 5-point penalty for it, and so it accrues over time. So obviously, a playoff driver doesn't cause very many cautions usually throughout the season, but then in the playoffs causes their 6th one and costs themselves 5 points. Could be the difference between them getting round of 16 or round of 12. So it's one that accrues over time, and people are never penalized for them causing wrecks. It's like, well, now here is the system that will penalize someone for running over someone on the entry to a corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I've been outspoken about race control never really handing out penalties. That's fucking wild. All season, we're gonna have to go all season
With 5 freebies.
with 5. Which
I mean, think about it. How many cautions have you caused in this season? Like you yourself. Can you
actual cautions?
Ryan
I don't
Newman's
know,
caused like
maybe-
5 cautions in real life, and he's only ran 3 races.
Well, that's because he's in a car that's slower than anything he's ever driven.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really kept track. I mean, I would assume 2 or 3 maybe.
So you wouldn't be in threat of anything unless you started driving way over your head and like killed people at Martinsville or something like that.
Well,
But
me and David Wright, we're
I don't think that's gonna rear its head.
I guarantee
But you
I'll
take-
have 5 by Auto Club next year.
Well, good thing we're not going to Auto Club, so you'll never
Well,
get
true.
there.
Wherever they're going, I'll have 5 by then.
Have they announced where they're going?
No, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I look because I'm trying to build the schedule to make sure everything lines up. But they have to do
That's
right
week
now.
2, right?
I heard North Wilkesboro.
Well, that's
And
that's one that's on tap possibly. They have to do
heard that's replacing Dirt Bristol or Auto Club. That's what I heard.
next year from where the dates they have. The 500's on February 18th, and Phoenix, the final race is on November 3rd. They have to do 36 races in 38 weeks, and they have to take 2 weeks off in the middle of the season because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
So there's the rumor is there's going to be a doubleheader weekend where they go Saturday Sunday, like at Pocono or something like that to fill in the schedule. But last chance to ask a question because I've got to get dressed to go play baseball.
Are you pitching tonight?
Go.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
I've got a game, but it's also noon here, so.
Go Fubon Guardians.
God damn it! Now I feel unprepared. Like I wanted to talk a bunch of shit whenever Kent was here, and now I don't remember none of it.
That's fine. I'll be the mediator.
I'll be listening. I'll be listening. So.
Yeah, I'll be the mediator. Don't worry. I ain't. I'll be fine.
So whenever he goes away, I'll remember everything.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
You can watch it back.
Yeah. Any other A2 questions that for 24? I've got most of it pretty much done. I think we're voting most of it in on Sunday, so then the drivers will get to review it all.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do I get a retirement package?
Only after 15 years. Then your pension kicks in.
Only after 500.
What about Matt?
Only after 500
about-
arc starts, and then you can get a retirement pension.
Right.
So I'm there. So we'll see y'all later.
So if Bandit Racing joins back in, do we get like a point penalty?
No,
Like automatically join
everything will be on a clean slate. Going back,
okay.
the one thing that I think, so last thing I'll say is Ryan was mentioning last week on the last episode about the teams being able to bring their team over. Just the team owner is bringing their team. So like Jeremy just brings B-Tron, and then he has the option to bring one driver if he wants. So if he wants to bring one driver, he can, then he gets 2 more draft picks to fill out his team. If he doesn't want to bring any drivers, then he'll get 3 draft picks in there, same as the new team owner. So that's the only little adjustment to what Ryan had said before about the draft coming up.
So I get 0 draft picks.
Yeah,
If you're not a team owner.
Y'all don't exist. You may not even. You may not even. You may not even get a team. Honestly, I got other people already in line before you. So.
Yeah.
So that means I could join. That
ready
means
for
I could join
fucking-
another team.
You could join another
Get ready for
team.
fucking Tommy Reynolds Racing.
Yeah.
Oh God! I can only imagine what your colors will be.
Pink and purple.
Yes, sir.
Red, white.
Is it true that all our
yellow.
gingers are colorblind?
No, because I'm married to a ginger.
So I swear, I was having some kind of episode coming home from work today. I was
Imagine
coming
that.
I was coming home from the light, and I was looking at this light, and I was like, man, that fucking yellow arrow looks a little funny. And I was like, all right, well, it can't be anything. And I'm passing this gas station at the Subway, and I'm like, man, that Subway shouldn't be fucking green.
All right,
And
boys, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later.
See ya.
Sorry.
Hey, man.
And I was like, the Subway's not fucking green. Am I losing my mind? And I don't know what the fuck I did, but certain shades of yellow I cannot see anymore. And I
Because you're
discovered this
ginger.
today.
Yeah.
All gingers are colorblind.
I don't know.
thought everybody knew this.
Maybe I'm like just losing my mind, but I don't know.
Sounds like he's coming up with his excuses why he lost the championship in A Square.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh.
about right.
Oh. Too
Alright.
soon?
No,
Oh.
no, he lost it last
Okay.
year too.
Oh, did Tommy leave? I think did Reynolds leave? Yep, he left.
He gone.
Brandon, I can't wait to send your ass in the fucking turn 4 at Phoenix. It's gonna be the
I ain't
greatest
worried
day in
about
Arc's
it.
history.
Just send him in turn 1. Why wait till 4?
Listen,
Because he has a chance to come back in turn 1.
I'm not even there, but
Hey,
why
you're
wait
known-
till
you're
turn
known-
4?
Hey, that's what he's known for. The last turn of the race, you know.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Hate to see
last
it.
turn of the race.
then he's gonna post about it on Twitter for a
Mhm.
couple hours and then claim innocence. That's
Yeah.
just what he does.
That's
Yes, sir.
That's what
He
you
is
gotta do.
colorblind, so I mean,
Yeah. He couldn't see the checkered flag. He thought it was a stage end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get away from the regular shit.
let's get to the salty shit.
Let's get spicy here.
I'm gonna go get a drink while you guys get spicy, but I will be right back.
All right. Well, I already
Come on back.
I got me a brand new drink, so we're here. We're here
Come
to
on, my
go.
back. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. It's actually perfect timing because now Toby left and his background is just.
Oh man, is
absolutely
that Seth
perfect.
in the chat?
Seth
I'm
is in
surprised
the
he
chat,
came out
yeah.
of his corner.
I didn't even know Seth
Yeah,
was still
after-
alive, to be honest.
I didn't either. After
Who the
LSU got
fuck
their
is that
asses
guy?
beat and
Why don't we
after
get
Yeah.
Seth in here?
freaking Kansas City Chiefs lost last night, I figured he'd be
I don't know.
somewhere in the
We
woods.
do need to get
How
Seth
the
in
fuck do you lose to the Lions?
here. Yeah,
I should have
well,
put money on DraftKings on that
hey,
shit.
as Seth would say, we didn't have Travis Kelsey. You know. Yeah.
I
that's
did win
just-
$50 from the Lions winning, but we won't talk about
You
that.
hate to see it,
I
but,
won some money too.
but
They bought me
anyway,
fuel this morning.
where were we at? I don't know. I'm drunk. Anyway,
You were gonna get spicy.
to the bullshit.
You were
Oh,
gonna
yeah, I was
melt
gonna-
down the podcast. Get it done.
yeah,
What we got?
I was gonna get spicy. We're gonna get yeah. Oh, so sorry. I'm reading the chat at the same time. So, I mean, yeah, Seth, you can join if you want to. I don't know if you're still in here. Maybe Feem can get you an
We
invite
need to
real
get
quick.
fucking Emma on a podcast sometime.
I-
that would be
that-
fucking
I-
amazing.
100%.
That's what I just was gonna read.
Yeah.
Yes, Emma, we would definitely love to have you on here. Seth, Feem's gonna have to send you an invite, buddy. We
I got you.
we cleaned house, so we try and keep it to where it's just me, Feem, and Reynolds, and Feder plays
I
for
might
the
be able to
most
send him
part.
in.
Yeah, so we keep it pretty much slim unless we invite you on here. So
There he is.
Yeah, there's Seth. Yeah, turn on your camera if you have one. If not, then fuck you. Fuck LSU.
You
fuck
know
Kansas
he ain't gonna
City.
turn it on. He fucking sucks.
I have a camera, but it's not coming on.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Dude,
I'm
he
dead.
still has tears.
Yeah, his face
later.
his face is still puffy from week 1 football, so that's okay. We won't.
A
we
rough
won't worry
kickoff
about
for us football
Got
season.
his nipple pasties on. He ain't got time. Can't put his.
it.
Hold on, let me put a shirt on.
He can't put his
Told you he had his nipple pasties on.
yeah, he's
You
I
saw
just-
Kobe.
gotta put his bra on.
I just came home from a Friday night ass kicking. We got whooped 34-20. Woo!
That ain't as bad as LSU lost.
Yeah, Emma. Whenever
I'm
you're
sorry.
ready, we'll get you in here.
Yeah, absolutely, Emma. We'd love to have you. But yeah, so let's sorry, I don't mean to cut anybody off. I know we were talking about football, but let's get back to
Fuck it, go for it.
let's get back to what we got going on tonight. So
Look at that.
there's Seth Wansing in his beauty with the Hendrick cap on. Yeah, so this is something that I was very, 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 very pissed off about tonight. And everybody can, again, share their opinions. Don't care. I mean, we'll listen. This is a podcast. This is Unfiltered Dirty Air. We're here to talk shit. That's what we do. It's what we do best. It's what I do best, obviously, because no one likes me, apparently. So that's fine. It's all good. But let me tell you a rule that we came up with in ARCS long time ago. Probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. We always said that if a particular member left the Discord more than 2 times, they were no longer welcome in ARCS. That is a rule we've had for years. No one can argue with me. We've had it for years. We have had it for over 1.5 years, almost 2 years, probably coming to 3 years, honestly, because time flies and I can't keep up with time. So we had an incident, okay? We had a member, left, came back, left, came back again. Made a comment about it. Then it was taken as a joke that this member was going to leave another time, and then came back another time. I then removed that member because that is against ARC's rules that we have had for years and years and years. Then I have been unfondly I don't know, I'll just say unfondly looked upon because I removed this member. We have rules. We follow those rules. If we don't follow those rules, what happens? What happens, fellas? What happens?
You know.
I'll let y'all answer. Go ahead.
You know.
Gone. Get the fuck out of here.
Or
I mean,
we
who
get
the fuck
or,
are we
or
to
we get
anyway?
or we get crucified.
We get crucified whether we follow the rules or not. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's again, we have rules for a reason. So yeah, it pissed me off. Regardless, it would have pissed me off even if I was stone cold sober. It would have pissed me off. It was ridiculous. It was stupid. Regardless if it was a joke or not, the ARC's Discord is, yes, we joke with each other. We play around. We have fun with each other. But to leave the Discord, that's not a joke. That tells me that you don't want anything to do with ARCs, and to do it 3 consecutive times. I'm sorry, it's not a joke to me anymore at that point. And then I get memes put at me that I'm a dictator. Sorry for following the rules that ARCs has instituted for years on years. And I mean, at the same time, I'm not sorry. I followed rules. I followed the ARC's rules that we have put into place for years and years and years. And at the end of the day, this shit is not a joke to me. This is not a joke to me. Like it's not. I am there almost every single night. Calling ignition races for free, being involved in SNS, helping Withers and helping Tri-Strand. I'm there for TNT. I'm there, Mondays. Now I'm not really available because I've committed to run HTL with Blake. I'm there Tuesdays. Me and Joshua Garrison running the Dirt Series on Tuesdays. There Sunday nights running A Squared. Even when I'm 600 miles away in Michigan, I still am there helping put everything together. I do stats for this league. I do the Hall of Fame for this league. I do all of this for ARCs. And for someone to, take leaving the Discord as a joke is an absolute joke to me. And, luckily this podcast took a long time to get to this point, so I have simmered down a lot. But some of the members that sent me things and tagged me in things is absolutely it is absolutely just ridiculous. It's, and I'm not here to call people out, but I may here in a second. Once everybody else puts their input in, I absolutely may. But everybody knows who we're talking about. Everybody here, everybody in that's watching, everybody in the Discord, y'all know who I'm talking about. And I am absolutely fed up with it. I really don't think that many people, other than maybe Tom Sears, I would say that's probably the only person that really understands what goes into making sure every single night that ARCS succeeds. That's, TNT is not my series. But do I feel guilty for Daytona? Absolutely. Because I'm an owner of ARCS. TNT is a part of ARCS. That's my fault. Is it Rick James' fault? Yes. Rick James set up the lobby, he fucked it up. But it's still on me because I am an owner. It's no different than any company that any of you listening or any of you on this podcast are a part of. There is a owner and a president that is responsible for everything that happens at that corporation. And it is no different here in ARCS. TNT lobby was fucked up, and I should have seen it, but I didn't. Because guess what? I wasn't home. I was in Michigan. I shouldn't even been racing. I should have been spending time with my girlfriend, but I didn't. I wanted to race Daytona at TNT with my buddies, and I shouldn't have. I should have said, fuck it all, and I should have just spent time with Kinsey and not raced. But I wanted to because that's what I do. Like I love ARCS. Like that is all I've known for the past 3 years is ARCS. But and then you have somebody make a joke in the Discord by leaving the Discord, and it's like, to me, yes, we do joke in the general chat. We do talk about, football. We make fun of each other. Oh, your team sucks. This team sucks. Oh, F1, this, that, whatever it may be. Yes, we do make little jabs at each other, and that's normal. But to come into ARCS and then leave and then come back and then leave and then come back again, I'm sorry, but that was the point where I was so frustrated that I removed said member, and the people that constantly started tagging me and stuff, including, let's put this out there, including someone who tagged me in when I left the Discord because of these same individuals that literally almost drove me to legit insanity, where I said, I have got to take a week away. I've got to step away. And any owner that may be listening, I don't know if there's any owners out there. I don't know if Carmen's watching or Blake Henderson or anybody that owns a league. I am almost 100% certain that at some point they have been at this same place that I've been at, because y'all remember, and again, like I said, this is for everybody watching, everybody that is on this podcast, anybody that may watch it in the future on YouTube or Twitch. When we first started, we had 4 owners, okay? We had me, we had Thomas Andrews, we had Terry Gabbard, and we had Tom Sears. And we only had 4 serious series. We had TNT, we had A Squared, we had our Xfinity on Xbox, and we had our trucks. That was it. That's all we had. Now, there's only 2 owners, ladies and gents. There's 2. It's me and Tom Sears. And Tom Sears, I love him to death. He is going through a lot of shit right now. He is buying a house. He's getting married. He's working, 70 hours a week. He's not that available. And I don't mean to fucking flick y'all off, but for those who it's intended to, there. But it's me, really. Thomas Andrews, he pulled away. He's getting married actually this weekend, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him and his fiance, future wife. I wish I literally have the invite sitting right here beside me. I would have loved to went. It was, I wasn't able to, unfortunately, because it was, up in the north, Yankee town, so I couldn't make
BFE.
it. Yeah, I couldn't make
way
it up,
off yonder.
Yeah, I couldn't make it up way up yonder. So but I get it. I get where he's coming from. And Tom Sears is right there in that same realm where I don't know how much longer Tom Sears is going to be able to fully commit to arcs. And then who does that leave? Just me. That's it. I mean, yeah, we have a bunch of admins that are responsible for each series, but the executive decisions are between me and Tom Sears. So, you know, at the end of the day, I know I've talked a lot tonight, and I don't mean to bore y'all. I mean, obviously we still got a pretty good amount of viewers, and hopefully a lot of people will watch this tomorrow when they wake up, or when they're watching before they're watching college game day. Maybe you'll tune into this, but just please understand.
I gotta.
Go ahead.
I've got a really good question for you. Coming from, you're the owner.
Mhm.
I mean, the owner over everything, right?
Mhm.
So, from an owner standpoint, and I'm talking abroad everything. I'm not just pinpointing out, A squared, ignition, all these series we have going on here. I mean, from an owner standpoint, how does I don't even know how to put this, but like in quotation marks, how mentally drooling is it for I hope you understand a general chat warrior, I guess, because we have a lot of them, a lot of general chat warriors, throughout every series. I mean, how hard is that to like deal with? Like, even if they don't race a series, I mean, you have it in every series, obviously.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
taking it from an abroad, like from an owner standpoint, from you, like A squared would, or arcs would not be nowhere without you and all the other owners. There's not a lot, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, how seeing somebody like week in and week out, just
it's tough.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
suck the life out of you, all the hard work you put in.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
is.
mean, how
It's very difficult to deal with. I mean, and it's even more difficult to deal with because the very moment or the very second that I say something, it's automatically used against me because I'm the owner. As soon as I say something negative or anything to say anything about anyone or come back at anyone, it's used against me, and anybody can argue with that, saying no, it's not, bullshit. It is. It is absolutely used against me. So I do everything I can to stay neutral to everything that happens in arcs, but there are definitely times where I just get to a point where I lose my cool and I voice my opinion, just like everyone else voices their opinion. And sometimes it is used against me, and sometimes I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't.
I mean, we've all stepped out of line in
Yeah.
general.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, we
I'll be
all
the
have.
first one to say I've stepped out of line. I mean, obviously I've stepped away from A squared, and with the summer going on and all the farming stuff I have, to do, that I just can't.
Yeah.
It's not fair to me to run my race or run my team and not be there. And then on top of that, it's like, dude, all the drama going on, like, it just sucks the fucking life
Well,
out of you, dude.
the one thing that probably it's not even the members that just cause useless drama. That to me,
Havoc.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Like, sometimes I just ignore it. Sometimes I will say what's on my mind because I'm able to, I'm allowed to say anything just like any other member is allowed to say anything in general chat. It's fair game. It's general chat. But the thing that probably gets me more than anything is when other admins start attacking other series. That really, really pisses me off because, we as admins, obviously, we all have our weak moments. Everybody, you know, Reynolds is an admin. Toby, you've been an admin before. You still are. Smeal, you're an owner of a series. Seth, you've helped me with A Squared, you're still an admin of A Squared. Withers, you're an SNS admin. We have all had moments where we've said things that admins probably should not have said. But
Yeah.
it happens because you have people that say dumb shit, and what do? How long can you bite your tongue before you finally bite your tongue off and you're bleeding and you go, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not gonna keep doing this shit. But that, to me, I think it happens in every league. I don't personally see it happening because I'm not involved in a lot of other leagues, and those leagues that I am involved in, I'm not really active in their Discord because I have to be so active in our Discord and our admin Discord that I can't really pay attention a whole lot to other Discords. I mean, I try and keep up with ABN, I try and keep up with HTL. OG's kind of died ever since Brian Rupert, stepped down. I mean, they really haven't done a whole lot. I know Thomas Holland is trying to do a few things here and there, but they really haven't done a whole lot. So, but the like I said before, the one thing that really pisses me off is when we have other admins attacking each other. If it happens in our ARC's admin chat, I'm okay with that. That's where we solve things. That's where we come together and fight and make it better. But that's in a private Discord that the other 230 something members can't see. When you bring it into the general ARCs and you start attacking other divisions and I'm not gonna lie, I've done it before too. I mean, Withers will tell you the first time. Ask him about Talladega when they fucked up the qualifying and how I felt about that.
Oh, gee, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there. I've done it. I have done it, but I never took it past that voice chat. That was it. I left it in the voice chat, which I shouldn't have done that, but I did. I was displeased. I was not happy. I was not happy with how TNT Daytona went. I really wasn't. Like, it was shit.
With a lot of people.
It ruined my whole race because Daytona, like, people like me, people like Withers, what do? We stay in the back until the wreck happens, and then everyone has a wrecked race car, and now we're up front. That strategy doesn't work when you have 255 fucking fast repairs. It doesn't. It does not work. So now my strategy has completely changed, as well as I'm sure everyone else in that race's strategy changed, because regardless of what Tom Sears, what Thomas Andrews, and what Rick James said before the race started, don't race like assholes, don't race like a dick, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You gave us...
It's out the window.
It's out the window. Am I going to push it 3 wide now on lap 10? You fucking damn right I am. And
yeah, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
you literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose, and if you wreck, guess what? As long as you don't break a fucking right front wheel off, or you flip over and you're on your fucking roof, you trot around, you get your fast repair, you come back out, you're right back in it. So yes, all of us have had moments where we are not pleased with how something is going, but when it's and I'll single Tri-Strand out. He does it a lot. He has called out Ignition several times, and Tri-Strand is, I don't know. Maybe he helps Withers out more than he helps me, but he sure as fuck ain't helped me with nothing. That's just.
Ignition is
being honest, but
Ignition is a new series. You're gonna expect hiccups. The first season, the second season, isn't gonna be as good as the third or the fourth. It's a growing experience.
It's also a brand new series that's 30 some races long, so that's a lot of that's like a huge series. It's hard to It's like
and here again, I'm gonna speak the truth because this is what I'm doing tonight.
Come on, Daddy. Let's hear it.
I'm speaking the truth. I understand it is a new series, and we have done the best we can to make it as fair as possible to everybody. But dot.
Here it is.
When you have people that have been competing and winning all year long, and then get to a point and say, you know what, fuck y'all, fucking middle finger, fuck you, I ain't racing no more. How does that make me feel as an owner of ARCs? If you have 3 or 4 drivers that you really feel that you have really been outed that much to where you're in the playoffs and you won't even show up? Like, come on, like, grow the fuck up. Like, I mean, you know, I'm being real here. I mean, this shit is fucking ridiculous. And again, you know, Toby, I'll get your opinion here in a second, but we made a call at Daytona, and I've talked about it on the podcast before. This one, when Feem wasn't here, we went live. It was me, Feem. I mean, not Feem. Sorry, Fetter Place and Reynolds. Were you there? I don't even remember if you were there or not. I think you were there.
For Daytona?
Yeah.
Talking about like the hauler?
No. I'm talking about the podcast after.
Oh yeah, I think I was there for that.
Yeah, I know there was 3 of us,
Yeah,
but
you
anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Feem wasn't there, right?
Yeah, Feem
no, I wasn't there.
Yeah, Feem passed out because he hit his bong too hard or something. I'm not sure what happened, but
You might be right.
yeah, he hit.
So
bong
I'm
too hard.
technically in A squared at this moment, like during Daytona.
No, you had already left.
No.
Okay.
You weren't there. You weren't
your team was there.
Your team was there for that
Your
race.
team was definitely there.
I love how everybody's saying your team is there. So let's hear it, Ron. Come on.
All right, here we go. So your team was there. Let me get another swig of this here premium White Claw.
Take a big
Fucking
pool.
White Claws. Jesus Christ.
Bitch.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching my sugar levels. Y'all can suck my nuts. I don't give a shit. Anyway, so
Take me on a date for
hey, you lost to the Detroit Lions, Seth, and Florida State, so you really have no ground to
Now
speak
you're gonna
on
make him leave the podcast. Way to go, Ryan.
Damn it. Let's get back to Daytona before I get lost.
All right, back to Daytona. So obviously you didn't listen to our last podcast, so we had several drivers.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I had several drivers come to me, and no, they were not all on my team. That was I brought that up in the hauler, that I had several drivers tell me that this particular restart they wanted looked at and questioned by race control and admins. Ghost, hell yeah, it's got alcohol in it?
Hell yeah.
No, but listen, tropical mango.
That's the mango. Yep. Good
Yeah.
shit.
It ain't got no alcohol in it, so I don't want it. Anyway, so I was in the hauler. I said, hey, we had several drivers question this restart, which then I was accused that all of the drivers that questioned that restart were on my team, which is bullshit. I have 3 different drivers from 3 different teams that actually messaged me after the race saying, hey, you really need to look at lap 80 restart. So that's what we did, because again, here I am listening. I'm listening to all the drivers. That's what we do as admins. We will look at anything that any driver wants to look at during the race. We are always open to look at anything. So we look at this restart, okay? And Aiden is your leader on the inside line, okay? Joshua Garrison, which is now, or was, not anymore, but was a Bandit Racing driver, second, outside line. Noah Belleville, Bandit Racing driver, third, outside line, okay? So we go to this restart. Tommy Reynolds is fourth, second inside line. Okay, he was also one of the ones that said, "Hey, I need you to look at this."
Fuck Tommy Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Well, he
Don't make me change my webcam again.
Well, he wasn't the only one, I promise you, but he was one of the ones. So, anyway, we look at this restart, and I'm telling you, Toby, and you know anybody that did not listen to the last podcast, listen to me now. I want to ask y'all a question, and this, Fetter Place, this doesn't go for you. Feem, you weren't here. I don't know if you listened to it, but you weren't here.
I did.
You did? Okay.
I did.
So Withers, Seth, Smeal, and Toby. All right. I got a question for all four of y'all. If you are the leader on the inside line at Daytona with 3 to go, green, white, checkered, not even 3 to go, green, white, checkered, second attempt, or was it first attempt? Might have been first attempt.
First attempt.
I think it was first attempt at green, white, checkered. Smeal, you were in there, so you can't answer. I forgot you were in there. So this is for Seth may have been in there too. I don't remember. It's been a long time ago.
No.
If you are the leader on the inside row, green, white, checkered, attempt number 1, when do you shift into third gear? What RPM? Toby, I'll let you go first.
I mean, honestly, it's just if I'm first, so that's your question. I'm first,
Yeah,
right?
you're first. You're leading the field.
Me personally, I'm looking in my mirror. That's just me. Whenever I see that person closing in, I'm shifting.
All right, what's RPM? Just
that
random. Just guess.
I can't say. I mean, it's.
All right,
I'm pushing your fucking bumper through your front end.
Yeah,
what RPM are you shifting?
Pushing your ass.
Wait, hang on. You're on me like we're fucking going.
I was fucking
your
Andy
needle.
Norman's ass on the restart.
He's connected to you.
I'm shifting probably a little bit before I even get to red.
All right,
like
Seth.
I'm going.
All right, Seth. When you shifting?
I don't know the exact RPM, but as soon as I possibly can, that's for sure. To get to fourth or fifth.
No, that's not the right answer. As soon as you can shift at fucking 3,000 RPM.
Like as soon as it gets to the red. So
okay.
like I just limits at.
Yep, that's all I needed. Withers, when you shifting? Withers ain't even
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. My mic was muted.
Hang on. Let Withers talk.
I would say when you get to the red, or everybody has that sound that they hear. When you get to that sound, when it's just time.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. So all three of y'all said pretty much right as you get to the red line, which is about 8,000 to 8,500 RPMs. 8,900. Yeah, once you get to 9,000 RPMs, you're redlining in the next gen, correct?
Okay. Probably, yeah, something like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. You want to know when Aiden shifted into third gear? 6,000 RPM. And you want to know what he told me when I took him to the hauler after the race? He was saving fuel. Anybody have an argument against that? Because I'm here to hear it. I listened to Thomas Andrews say he was saving fuel. Thomas Andrews and Aiden Norman are full of shit, and I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell that, and I told it to their face in the hauler. You do.
I mean,
You do not save fuel when you are the leader of the pack at Daytona. On a green, white, checkered. You don't save fuel on the fucking start. You don't do it. Save fuel under caution? Yeah.
No.
All day long. Yeah, do it. I don't care. But have any of y'all in this podcast right now, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of our eight fuckers in here right now. Have you ever saved fuel on a green, white, checkered at Daytona coming to the green flag?
If you're saving fuel on the green flag on a green-white checkered, then you should have pitted before it.
That's what we told him.
I mean,
he said that he knew that A squared was going to have cautions. That's why he didn't pit, which is a bullshit excuse. And guess what?
yeah.
He stayed out, and he did a second green-white checkered, and did the same thing to Tom Sears. That's why Tom Sears was also upset and was also with me on saying that he fucked that race up because the first restart, when he went, and obviously he's not listening because he's not in the chat, which is fine. But, and we've talked about this before, so it really doesn't matter. But this just drives, it all has to do what happened today, but I'm just filling y'all in that didn't listen to the
Which
podcast
I wasn't
last
there.
time.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm giving
and
my
you-
honest opinion.
Yeah, and you didn't know, and
Same.
Seth wasn't there, Withers wasn't there, so they have no idea. So that's why I'm bringing this back up. I'm not trying to bring this back up to start any shit. I'm just telling Toby and Seth and Smeal and Withers, who may have not been here for the last podcast, what happened and how ridiculous it looked from an admin and a race control standpoint, where you're the leader, you short shift into third at not even 6,000 RPMs, then short shift into fourth before you even get close to 7,000 RPMs. Now both of your teammates, Joshua Garrison and Noah Belleville, now are clear of Aiden. Come down. Reynolds
On
has
the outside.
this whole time. Reynolds is shoving Aiden Norman through fucking next year.
Let me also say this. So I knew that he was gonna either try and get a jump and try and get in front of his teammates, or he was gonna like tell them when to go and they were gonna launch and I was gonna get fucking left.
Mm-hmm.
So before Aiden Norman even fucking launched, I shoved his shit through fucking next year in the restart zone.
Green-white
And
checkered, that's what you have to do.
and
Yeah.
did not fucking go.
Yeah.
I did not lift once, and yeah.
If I'm in a saving fuel scenario, right? I am third, fourth in line. I don't want to be the car lead.
No.
If I'm a half a lap short, the lap before you're making sure you're a little bit behind to save fuel, and then possibly get the run. Yeah, I mean I understand. I mean I don't.
Yeah. It looked
I mean
bad.
it's just.
It looked really bad. And then, like I said, his excuse when we brought him into the hauler and talked to him, which I was very upset at that moment. I was very upset. Anybody that was in that hauler in that moment, I think Smeal may be the only one. Maybe Seth was there. I don't remember. I, at that moment, was out of my mind pissed off. Out of my mind pissed off. I think Reynolds was there too. He heard me. Because what happened was it checked the entire inside line up.
Fuck this all up.
Because when you go at a super speedway, you do not expect, unless somebody spins tires, which is not going to happen at Daytona, or they completely miss a shift, which is very rare in the next gen because you have sequential. I mean, it's back, like or paddle. Like if you miss a shift, you really suck. Like it just, it sucks. I hate it. But it checked up the whole inside. We wrecked. Come back. We go around again. And guess who stays out? Any guesses? Exactly. Yeah. So
Hey, dude, I would say this. I would love to see, like, I don't know, the race footage. I mean, I'm not saying, like, he was in the right.
Let's
Oh,
just
I
say it
got-
fucked the entire.
I mean, I
Oh.
understand. At Daytona, Talladega, if I am fuel saving and I'm in the lead on the restart, I'm probably gonna work my way to either let the outside guy get ahead of me and pull a toe off of him, so I'm saving fuel to make it to the end. I mean, we've all done the fuel strategy races. Ryan, you showed that at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously really good at Daytona and Talladega. It don't matter. Whenever I was running A squared, like I was really good at the mile and a halves. You know, wasn't really the best at the short tracks like Bristol and stuff like that, but a lot of people say that Bristol and the mile and a halves are the best ways and the easiest
Yeah, let me
finishes.
let me cut you off real
But
quick.
the
'cause-
hard
Let me cut you off because now
Go-
Aiden's
no,
in
go
chat,
ahead,
so
yeah.
we're getting serious now. So Aiden, I never said you did not pit before the third green white checkered, so you can shut the fuck up right now, okay? Because let me tell you right now, I never said that on this podcast. I said you stayed out the first green white checkered and you stayed out the second green white checkered. Then you came down pit road. So if you want to come on here, look, hey, Feeble sends you an invite. I'm ready to talk to you, buddy. I am. I'm ready to talk to you. I'm ready.
I'd love it. Let's get it.
This is ridiculous. This has gone on too long. We need to settle this shit right now. I am tired of dealing with your fucking bullshit, and I guarantee you all 8 people in here agree with me. And probably the other 130 in ARCs probably agree with me too. Except for maybe Thomas Andrews. And if anybody in here disagrees with me, argue with me right now. I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here, but I'm not gonna put up with this bullshit anymore. I'm fucking fed up with this stupid ass shit that we deal with on a fucking daily basis. When we put in our time to put these series on for people like you that don't give a fucking shit about anything we do. You can. Literally, I'm done.
All right, I'm gonna take over for Ryan says something stupid.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, Theme Daddy, come on here. I mean, anybody in this whole statistically speaking,
Yep.
whenever you're at 10 to go at Talladega, Daytona, where's Ryan? Top 5, right?
Yep. Always up front. Yep.
Every time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Ryan, he can say he's not fast at the mile and a half, all this shit.
I gotta go, boys. I'll be watching. No, sorry.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you, bud.
But dude, I'm telling you, Talladega, Daytona, for me personally, is so much harder to be in the top 5, top 10, and be competitive than in any other racetrack. I mean, tell me if I'm stupid. And when I say in being in the top 5 and the top 10 and competitive, I'm talking 0x. Like, Ryan is always there.
Yep.
I mean, I will say this. I've been in the A squared side, the Gen 4 side, whatever it may be. You know, it's with Ryan pushing you or you pushing Ryan. It may not be the easiest. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's consistent. Like, Ryan's not trying to push the envelope to wreck. Like, he is there to get the best finish that he can get possible. And I mean,
Right.
if Ryan's there, if he's in the top 5, he's getting top 5 or more. He's not getting top 5 or less, unless somebody fucking wrecks him, because we've all been there. But like, whenever I'm at Talladega, Daytona, with the last 10 laps to go, if I see Ryan in my peripheral, anywhere either in front of me or behind me, I know I'm in a good spot because he is always there. Fuel strategy, whatever the case may be, he's there.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I'm in the chat with him. So yeah, you're not wrong. Me and Ryan, we've been up front for every single super speedway at least once. We've been 1, 2, or like right there every single race. So you're not wrong. I mean,
No, and he's not
out
the Bubba Wallace of the series either. Like I'm not, because I'm sure I'm not saying anybody could throw that scenario out there, but he's not the Bubba Wallace of the series. Like he
kind of felt like
is.
Bubba Wallace.
Let's not hate on Bubba here. Bubba's having a good season.
Dude,
He's done everything he needed to do to get to where he's at. Let's calm down on Bubba.
my point exactly. But either way, like I love Bob. I would love to see Bubba beat out Kevin Harvick and all these other guys, as with what they got going on now. But
I'd
like
love to
Ryan,
see him win
like
just to watch NASCAR Nation melt the fuck down.
Yeah.
yes, the top. I mean, even if he makes it to like the top 5, dude, I would be. I was mad at Darlington when he wrecked. I think he got into Joey Logano's his left rear thing.
Yeah, he got into his left rear, and that you're at that point in that turn, like
there was no turning back. He was just kind of there.
As soon as he got into it, he hit him here, and it went. His car shifted out, and then it just snapped on him. Came back.
Hey,
yeah.
What do y'all think about Harvick?
Oh, we're digressing here.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying we definitely took a left turn somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how it happened either.
We're
Next-
supposed to take left turn.
Well, look, next podcast we do. Let's get Aiden on here.
In 2 days. Two
Settle
fucking
it.
days.
Let's settle it.
All right, well let's stay in.
Since
the
everybody's
A-squared.
avoiding the obvious here, the only reason he's not coming on is because nobody is here to coddle him like Andrews, like Briley, and that's the only difference.
That's fine.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
you
being
want-
honest because nobody else is saying it. He's not going to come on here because of that exact same reason. Even if it was a one-on-one with somebody, he still wouldn't do it because he's going to be there by himself. So
That's fine. We'll have who's the best? Withers is good at being a fucking intermediate. Withers can be on here. Withers
No,
is a good intermediate.
I can mediate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can mediate this shit, and let's hash this shit
Well,
out.
Okay. Let's keep it on.
y'all. I mean, everybody. Let me ask y'all all a question here, and this goes for the chat too. Who is at this point right now at fucking 12:50 a.m. Who is the one person that causes the most issues, the most trouble, the most bullshit in ARCs?
Jacob, he never puts his banner on.
Ah, fuck you. That's not what I'm fucking talking about. Nobody gives a shit about Jaco don't even know what fucking trading paints is. You can't blame him. He's 85 years old. He doesn't know what trading paints is. Other than Jaco and his fucking banner, who is? I mean, I'm being honest. Who is
This motherfucker?
What is y'all's answer to that? Because I know my answer. But I want to know y'all's answer.
I'll give you a fucking answer. Okay, so anytime you see something, anytime it blows up, like say I haven't been on my phone, right? Or I haven't been on my computer or something like that, and I look at my phone and I see there's like 60 messages. Like, you have a little icon on your phone, it like pops up, and then I click on it on Discord, all right, and then I see that all of them are from, ARCs. 95% of the time, it's something that Aiden stirred. Aiden stirred that shit up, and it blew up. Okay,
Right.
Just throwing it out there.
That's all I needed. Reynolds.
sorry, I was typing. I missed the whole conversation.
He wasn't typing.
Fuck
He was
you,
fucking
bitch.
running that damn streetcar somewhere.
Yeah, he's running that fucking spaceship.
I was typing. I was talking to Emma.
You don't even get to answer anymore. Fetter Place, what's your answer?
God damn it.
Well, I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, we got Belleville. Well, I mean, he's not in the Discord anymore.
Nope, not anymore.
Quiet and his quote gold.
True.
Fisher.
Ooh. Is that Brent? Is Brent's
He's Brinks.
He's Brinks, yeah. That's him.
He wants a one-on-one. Can we do that? Like Elon Musk, fucking Zach Eckelberg, whatever his name is, one-on-one. We can do it in ARCs.
Ready.
Zach Eckelberg. What the fuck, Fiend?
I don't know what the fuck the dude's name is. Jesus fucking Christ.
So
Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Hey, Reynolds, shut the fuck up. I came from MySpace, bitch. Okay?
Yep,
Not
I remember that
Facebook,
shit.
not Twitter or X, whatever it's called.
Facebook's
We had
fucking
MySpace.
old
profile
for me.
songs.
And before that, it was AO fucking L. Okay? That's the only
Alright.
communication we had with other people.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the question. Better Place was in
Alright.
the middle.
Anyway, so you had those three, and then yeah, like you said, I mean Norman, but I don't think it's particularly just him, but yeah, I mean you're on the right point. I mean, yeah, he does cause a lot of stuff. I mean, I think it's because it's entertainment. It's easy. You know, he can say a couple of things in chat, and he's going to get a lot of people stirred up, and that's what it is. I mean,
Agreed. Toby? He ain't even there, I don't think. Alright,
He's
Smil.
there. There's like a shadow.
That's
he's a
his
shadow
going
person
on.
right now.
Smil.
Well, I mean, we all know that the history between Norman and I has not been a clean slate, but I mean, there's no doubt. You know, Better Place brought up like Quiet and Fisher, but they're more just nonsense. They're not stirring shit for the sake of stirring shit just to see what comes out. So it's
Yeah, Fisher
just don't-
and Quiet are just idiots. Like they just
they're their own level.
They
That's
don't-
not on
they
the
don't
same
think.
page here.
Yeah, they don't think before they talk. Whereas
Put
They
those
don't
two on
think
the
at all.
podcast.
oh, that would be terrible. That would be the least viewed
Like-
podcast ever. But
That would be the most viewed podcast in ARC's history.
I think you might be wrong, Ryan. I'm pretty sure all of ARCs may tune into it for at least 5 minutes.
that is
For,
true.
It's-
Yeah, that is true. But anyway, back to
For
our
Quiet
question.
Yeah, anyway. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's Norman. It's every single time. It's, you know, he was stirring shit in Ignition after he was no longer welcome in the series.
Mm.
Like he stepped away under his own fruition. He said he was done at the time. Granted, he was talking about starting his own league on Friday nights to compete with the series. But I digress. But he wasn't even racing. But he was involving himself in the chat. He was involving himself in the hauler.
Yeah.
Like there was, I don't remember what race it was, but people were joining the hauler that didn't belong there, and I just started kicking motherfuckers. Like
Well,
I
the two answers I really want to hear is Tommy Withers and Toby Estes. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear y'all's answer to my question. Toby's muted, so Withers, it's all on you, bud.
And he's
Withers
done.
is apparently asleep.
He's muted again.
I'm
muted again?
definitely muted again. Oh, God. Went to go take a piss and never turn my mic back on.
even the prophet.
I had to go to the bathroom and I wasn't taking a piss. I was.
He got too excited.
Mm,
I've only been drunk 2 times today, so you can only imagine what I was doing in the bathroom. So, oh God, it was awful.
we'll let Withers answer, and then we'll let
No.
Toby answer.
I would say 3 people, and this is the podcast, so we can say whatever, right?
Yep, 100%.
All right. I would say it would be Noah, Aiden, and hot take, Tommy Reynolds.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
He's not wrong.
he's like, I'm on a list.
No offense, that's being mean. Just answering the question.
Hate to see it.
He has come a long way. I will give him that. But yes, Tommy.
I mean,
Reynolds
holy
still-
shit. Can
still
you imagine if I
loses.
kept the attitude from fucking
Yeah.
last season? Hey, it would have been a lot fucking worse, especially if I still had the speed I had. It would have been a fucking bad day for everybody.
All right, Toby, I want your answer.
All right, what was the question? Because I missed.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I said, what? Who is
See? Reynolds
Reynolds wasn't able
I'm
to answer.
sorry.
Look,
he doesn't get a fucking answer.
No, Reynolds. I'll let you answer now that I'm gonna re-say the question. Who is? And I asked everybody in this podcast, who is the 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, however many people you have. Who is the top of your list of who causes the most issues in arcs overall, over all series. Who's on the top of that list?
Who's on the top?
Yeah.
All series?
Yeah.
Hayden.
Okay. Reynolds, now that you heard the question, go for it.
Am I making a list or am I just doing top?
It doesn't matter. You can make a list. I mean, we had a couple people list a couple names. I'm, you know, it's up to you.
I'm gonna say Aiden, Try, and I'm gonna say close battle for third with a couple other morons. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know if I really officially gave my answer. But my answer, if I did give an official answer, I would definitely put Aiden first. I would probably put Tristrand and Noah Belleville second, and I would put Briley third. I really feel like Briley has changed, and I really hope.
What are you trying to say about Bandit Racing?
You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Y'all are at it again.
What the fuck is Bandit Racing?
We don't know anymore.
What the hell was what was ever Prophecy Racing?
Yeah, they don't.
Hey, we got 3 wins this year, baby.
Hey, yeah, they got
Shots fired.
they got
Shots
three-
fired.
2 cars in the playoffs.
they got 3 drivers that could have been in the playoffs if Dustin Painter's schedule didn't change. So
They got 3 wins with a combined 3.
hey,
Prophecy's got 3 wins with a combined 33 races.
yeah, and hey,
I
Toby,
outwon the entirety of Prophecy Racing this season.
I was gonna say, hey,
Go ahead,
Toby,
Ron. Prophecy Racing is still here.
Yeah, hey Toby, where's Bandit Racing?
Exactly.
Ooh, yeah.
No,
And
hey,
that
you
dumpster
want,
burning down the road.
look, listen. You want my honest opinion
That's
with
what
Bandit
That's
Racing,
what this podcast
the
is all
whole
about.
shebang, right?
Yeah.
Ryan, you know, I have expressed my feelings to you more than 1,000 times. I've always wanted to be a person in A Squared, just because I love the series. I love what it is. But the one thing that is, other than what I have to deal with, work, farming, and all this shit, the last thing I want to do when I jump on my sim and run Sunday nights is have to deal with just stupid ass drama. Like, I just want to be able to jump on my sim, run my race. I know the people I run with week out. You know who you're going to be racing against. I've been in it long enough now. Ryan, you know who you're going to be racing in and racing out week in, week out, excluding Daytona and Talladega because for some reason you're on AIDS there. But other than that, you know who you're going to be racing around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Fiend, you know who you're going to be racing around.
Yep.
Everybody knows, just like in the regular Cup Series. And the last thing we want to do when we jump on our sim on a Sunday evening before watching the race, or trying to finish our race so we can catch the actual NASCAR races, is deal with stupid ass drama.
Yeah.
And when I first started, it wasn't there. And I loved it. I loved A Squared. Everybody in A Squared, we raced hard, but at the end of the day, we could all jump in a chat like we do on TNT on Thursday Night Thunder and just fucking hash our shit out.
Yeah. I won't lie.
It's not that shit now. It's like, it's not there. Like, the respect is not there. And
I mean, from what I've noticed, it's this season. Like, you go back a year ago, on, it was next gen Cup cars, full length season, and there was we had the big one there at the end of the season, towards the end of the season, in the playoffs.
And this is regardless of the
one
update.
time. Yeah.
This is regardless of the update of the car.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
specifically people racing the series.
People racing the series. Like, we only had that one incident to where we had like everyone was pissed off after a race. Was it Martinsville last year? Or it was one of those races. But for the most part, like,
it was whatever was before Kansas, because I remember I had a come to Jesus meeting with everybody at
oh, in
Kansas.
Darlington then.
Yeah, so
It was in Darlington.
Yeah,
In the Southern 500.
Yeah, Darlington
Yeah,
was bad.
so I remember that Darlington
Yes,
was the shit
It was.
show.
It was.
Yeah.
But that was like the only like
when Ryan
bad
wrecked
one.
the 27 under caution.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't speak
Yep.
of that number.
Yeah, that never happened. But like compared last season, this season, it's I don't know if it's the team dynamic. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's just it's different. There's a few drivers that everyone like that kind of stirs stuff up, and I don't know. People are taking it way too serious. My ass took it way too seriously, but I got my 10-point penalty. You know, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something's different. Something switched from last year to this year when it comes to that respect thing that a lot of us drivers, and I was new last year, you know, on the A squared side of it. So I was, you know, but just racing a little bit from then to here, it's just, I don't know what was up with this season, because there's a bunch of dumb shit that happened this season, a bunch of dumb racing that happened this season, and then it all carried over into the general chat where people couldn't just shut the fuck up. Like,
Well, I mean, it pushed me to the point where I'm at now. Like, I'm not saying my Sundays are completely occupied, right?
all right.
But last year, I made sure I got my shit done around home and the farm to where I was able to race on Sundays. And then this season, it's like something has changed. And it's not Ryan's fault. It's not any admin's fault. It's just people within the league, like Ryan and all the other admins, can only, you know, control what goes on through the league at some point. They can say shit, okay, but still, you know, owners of teams still have who they drafted. And you know, we all thought that being able to draft drivers would be a great thing. I'm not saying it's not, but I mean, I could recruit, you know, Tommy Reynolds and he could wreck somebody at Chicago Street Road Course or something like that. I don't know. Just saying.
Oh,
The
that
picture's
sounds
going back.
weird. I must think I've heard of that before. That's
Yeah.
strange.
It is strange.
But I mean,
Wild how you
like,
pulled that out of a hat like that.
Or Richmond.
but I mean, even last year, like, throwing Reynolds in at the point, everybody knew Reynolds was fucking
There it
fast.
is.
Everybody knew, but we all knew who we were racing against. We knew how hard to race somebody, and then we obviously knew who didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like A squared has stepped away from that point, and I wish, dude, listen, if we could go back last year, I would run A squared every Sunday, dude. I would, and it's nothing that Ryan's done. It's nothing that any admin's done. It's just, you know, from a league standpoint, it's just people are not racing people with the same respect, or, you know, I mean, it's done. It's like you took
My bad.
a fucking piece of you shit in your hand and just fucking threw it in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like nobody cares what they do anymore, and that's the only reason why I left. It was just like, I mean, why race whenever you know there's no respect in the series you run? It's just like, why even be there?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean, Ryan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can have a counter offer to that and say once Bandit Racing left A squared, we ran Darlington flag to flag and never had a caution. So, I mean, you know.
Throw your hands up, Feebster. Do it again.
I mean, flag to flag. Now, I wasn't there either, so if I was there, yeah, there probably would have been 2 or 3 extra cautions. But, yeah, we ran Darlington, one of the toughest tracks, one of the shittiest setups. Reynolds even told me that
Agreed.
He thought that there would be 15 plus cautions in this race.
Where'd you
yeah.
finish at, Reynolds?
4th.
Yeah, so he did.
How many
fine.
people did you wreck?
Nobody.
Uncountable.
Nobody.
Too many
The
to count.
cautions. But yeah,
I wrecked like
Officially
5
no one.
times. Don't say no one wrecked because I wrecked like 5 times in that fucking race.
well, that was on your
But
own though. So I mean,
that was on my own.
I'm just saying.
yeah.
We went flag to
Well,
flag.
better place. How many people did you wreck?
Officially. Well,
Officially.
Officially
Officially
6,
0.
but unofficially 3.
unofficially, I never touched him, but officially, I apparently hit him and the wall and even the crowd on my way by. But,
You know, my thing is Kent has obviously came out and, put more strict rules on wrecking people or racing clean. And, the people bitching is probably the problem of the series. I will say this, which I've been gone from A squared admin roles for a long time now. But, if somebody's upset with the way the rules are going, I mean, that's probably your issues.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has even been said in A squared or because I just don't have the time to look at the chats anymore. But, you take it last year to where, shit, I can't remember where I won the race. It was a short track. Anyway, P2 was absolutely beating my fucking bumper off. And it took everything I could to hold on to it. And we finished the race with no caution. With like 5 or 6 laps to go.
Yeah.
P2 beating my fucking bumper off. I think it may have been Martinsville. I mean, when I say beating my bumper off, like I was driving everything I had in the next gen car. But we finished the fucking race. There's like a difference between bumping somebody and moving somebody and absolutely fucking just ruining somebody's day. And I mean, I really think we've got away from that. I really do. I mean,
you want to, so I kind of have this weird little theory. And I think, I think it's the team dynamic. It adds a level of stress to an already stressful race because, like as you said, Ryan, this is the creme de la creme of ARCs. A squared is where everyone wants to be, and that's where you want to win. So whenever you have team dynamics and you have a draft, and let's just say theoretically the people that you wanted to draft are either taken up or they're not able to run Sundays. Now you have to pick people that you originally didn't want to, which now brings in people who really probably shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
And those people are probably your problem drivers. And whenever you have team owners who generally don't give a damn what their drivers do, they don't rein them in a little bit whenever they get out of hand, this is what you get. And, the drivers don't respect their team owners, yada, 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 whatever the case may be. That's just my theory. Because that's really the only difference you guys have had. I raced, 6 races last season? And that's, I mean, this team dynamic is, for the most part, one of the, the only major change that I could think of. So
I can tell you as a team owner who is teammates with David Wright, sometimes these drivers are just gonna do whatever they want to do.
I will.
They
But
decide
it's
they've been
a
wrong and they're
respect
gonna
thing.
go and they're
It's a-
gonna go do something about it. I have to just let them go and do it, man.
I
They
don't
know the
think-
penalty.
I don't think that's totally true either because, there's times where I wanted to hammer somebody and Tom pretty much told me in my ear, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Stop it. And,
Well,
because
my
I
owner does the same.
Tom, I don't do that. But I think that's what I'm getting at. There's no connection. Some of these teams don't have that connection.
Don't get away from that because I've got something to say. The best I have ever ran in TNT and Next Gen was my first series. The first time I ever raced with the league, and that was because my outlook was to show that I'm fast, but I also raced clean. I gave people room, and I expected room. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you race clean. And a lot of drivers, if they're smart, they respect that. They're like, all right, he let me go 3 or 4 laps ago, 5 laps ago, whatever it may be. And by God, now he's here. He's not giving me the bumper, but he is here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
during the race,
best,
during the
Yeah, I
race,
mean, that's
I
how
know.
I race.
I remember
That's
how
how I try to
people are.
race.
the best I ran in TNT was my first season, and that was because I wasn't like me showing up. I wasn't there to win, but I was giving people room. I saved my tires, not knowing I saved my tires at that point, but I was just giving people room. Just kind of wiggling in, where I could fit in, and then at the end of the run, I was fast. So not knowingly holding my car back and not racing people like a dumbass actually paid off to my benefit because I was racing clean. I had a car at the end of the race to be able to finish it. And then, you take in to like A squared now where it's almost like, well, I haven't ran A squared in a long time, but it was almost like people just didn't give a shit whether they wrecked you or not. And Ryan knows it as well as I do. It was almost like the holler was fucking full, dude. I don't know how it is now, but it was just all the time shit. And me as being a team owner and Ryan being as a team owner and being admins in the series, like you had to throw that to the side. If it was your driver involved in a wreck and it was their fault, as a team owner, you had to say, okay, it was their fault. And then whether you talk to that driver or you didn't, from a team owner standpoint, but I think, I don't know, it's just,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you
between me,
race.
sorry, whenever
No, go ahead. No, I mean,
whenever I got into David Wright, Tom pulled me aside and he talked to me and he told me, hey, you gotta knock that shit off. He's like, I know it was an accident, but you can't be doing that shit in the playoffs. And
Yeah,
he's right,
yeah.
man. It took me
I
a minute
think
to kind of come to terms with it, but he was right. I mean, what the fuck? It's
I don't
playoffs.
know if David Wright is the same David Wright as was when I was
Oh
racing,
yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
almost
Oh
like
yeah.
passing. It was almost like passing Ryan Newman.
yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
It was.
Yeah, but Ryan Newman has talent.
Yeah, I mean,
2 wins
Shots
now.
fired. Oh, come on.
well,
Come
I mean,
on.
the biggest thing in 2024, kind of talking a little bit about what Fetter Place and Withers was talking about. I mean, the team owners are going to be very, very, very much responsible for how their drivers act in 2024. So if anyone in this chat or anyone listening or anyone that listens to this, tomorrow or Sunday or whatever, if you are a team owner, your drivers are your responsibility. And that will be very, very, very heavily implied in 2024. Obviously, yes. Like I mean, Feem is on my team. He did some dumb shit, and
Sure
he
did.
got him a penalty. Did I talk to Feem after the race? Yes, I did. I told him. I was like, dude, you really fucking shouldn't have done that. But did he do it? Yes, he did. There's nothing I can change about what he did in that race. But the team owners are going to be very much responsible for how their drivers not only race, but also conduct themselves pre-race, post-race, in the general chat. It will all be very much included in the team owner role. So, for anybody that's listening that wants to be a team owner next year, just know that doesn't just mean that you own a team and you're good and now yay, I'm on A squared, I'm good. No, your damn drivers, and Seth's a perfect example. I know he's not here anymore, and I don't know if he's listening or tuning in. His drivers have caused some issues. Daniel Michelle has caused, with me. Me and him had a good long hard talk in the hauler one night after Nashville Super Speedway when he wrecked me because he just dove it in like he was, fucking Dale Earnhardt and thought, it would stick, and then he wrecked me. But, like, all team owners are going to be very, very, very much responsible for what their drivers do in 2024. And the admins of A Squared are going to come to the team owners first, and then also include that driver in that conversation if there is a issue in 2024, because we expect the team owners to take ownership, because you are the team owner, to talk to your driver and say, hey, you cannot do this shit. Cut it out. If you want to keep racing in this series, stop. If you need to go punch a wall, go punch a wall, but don't fucking wreck this guy, under caution, or don't go wreck this guy, after the race. You're only hurting not only yourself, but your entire team that is involved, and there will be penalties next year.
Don't call the whole field fucking idiots like I did.
Exactly.
And that's, dude, like, from a team owner standpoint, dude, that's off track shit as well. Like, you're not only just dealing with shit that happens on track.
Yeah.
Throughout the week, like, you are. If one of your drivers is saying something silly, like, throughout the week in general, or whatever it may be, like, that's you, buddy. Like, they may be speaking their mind, but at the end of the day, like, that's coming back on your team. Like, the
I'm
people
sure we all
you
have our own
draft.
Discords, like,
Yeah, but I mean, even in general, like, what your teammates say in general chat is building a rapport of how everybody sees your team in A Squared. Like, even off track. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're bitching,
Yeah,
like,
we've lived
one
through
of you,
Sideswipe and we've lived through Bandit Racing, so yeah.
it's
Long
like
live
Bandit
Sideswipe.
Racing is on AIDS of Sideswipe.
I don't know, man. Sideswipe was pretty villainous there in their peak.
Yeah.
Sideswipe was the greatest fucking team Arx has ever seen. That's what the fuck it was.
Because it was
No,
3/4 of Arc.
and I came
Yeah,
and
it's true.
And I came through the Sideswipe era. Like, whenever I was racing, and like, it was just Sideswipe and everybody else. It was like either you were on Sideswipe or you were in with the rest of the field. There was no in between. But like the team owners, dude, like, if you're looking to be a team owner, or you're a team owner now, speaking from a team owner standpoint, I'm not now, but like, there is a lot of shit. Yeah, an ex-team owner, dude, there's a lot of shit you got to deal with. Like, Ron's going to be shouting you out. Like, he's going to message you along with any other A Squared admin. If shit happens, whether it be on track or your teammate is talking some dumb shit in general chat or wherever the case may be, hey, I mean, he's going to reach out to you. So, I mean, be ready. So,
I mean, but there needs to be. I mean, you're the owner, of that race team. So I mean, the with you. So you pretty much, if anything happens on track, I mean, you're the guy. So
Yeah.
I think that comes with the territory. I don't think that's that would be a shock to anybody. But I think the respect level. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I only raced a couple of races last season, but the respect level seems a little different, and that's what I think that it is that team aspect. And
yeah,
anyone here that don't belong or whatever.
Well,
About it.
the funny thing is that it's funny that you bring that up, because last year Team Sideswipe was still a thing, and there were a lot of people that were very upset with how Team Sideswipe raced. And that was back when I think Daniel Roberts, Samuel Roberts, Cody Pennell, Alex Simkowski, Tommy Reynolds, me, Smeal, Jeremy Brialt. We had a fucking stacked fucking team at Team Sideswipe because we didn't really have teams in A Squared that year. It was just kind of like, so y'all remember Daytona. John Smill made paint schemes for all of us, and we were all in
Yeah, you fucking bastards.
Yeah, we all had the damn. We all had the damn. What is that movie? Tron.
It was the whole field versus
Yeah.
Team
Yeah.
Sideswipe.
Yeah,
It was the whole field.
We had
I
Tron
need,
paint
I need to
schemes.
go back and find the
Yeah,
the
find
write-up that
find
we
that
did.
picture and put it in general if you can. I might have it, but we
I gotta find
had.
that write-up. Like, we did a whole thing for every driver the whole way through the Daytona 500.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
I think I even had a graphic that I made for our throwback schemes, where it was like Kobe Roberts, Samuel Roberts, Daniel Roberts, Cody Pennell, Jeremy Brialt, me, Tommy Reynolds, John Smeal. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting one or two, but we were fucking hated. We were hated. And we never, other than maybe Tommy Reynolds, because he was still immature back there, back that year in that season.
I was 15
Still-
when I joined
he-
Sideswipe,
still-
so
Hey,
Still immature.
Hey,
Wait,
he's-
let's kick it back.
he's matured about half a year. All right, we're getting somewhere with him. Okay, he's got his own ARC series now, so he's gonna have to really mature here if he wants his spaceship.
He made a lot of
series to-
stupid decisions at Bandit Racing, wrecking
Well,
people.
The one
Shit.
good decision he made was leaving before y'all fucking quit A Squared. I'll tell you that right fucking now. So.
goddamn right.
Of
Come
a
on,
boss
man.
move.
God, I seen the seriousness in your face, Ryan. I seen it. You were fucking gritting your teeth.
Anyway.
Hey, I will say this. I want to come out next year. I do want to come back full time A Squared.
With what teammates?
Whether it's no. This is my thing though. I don't want to be a team owner. I don't care if it's with Bandit Racing or what is it that Theme has? Ohio. Well, I wouldn't go with Ohio State Racing, but
Nah, he's on presidential, baby.
Here's your official invitation. Here's your official invitation to Tommy Reynolds Racing.
No, I do.
I mean, you never actually gave 100% whether you're coming back next year or not. From what I heard.
I do want to race A Squared next year full time, but whether it may be, I don't want to be a team owner. I just want to fucking show up and have somebody else deal with all the bullshit.
I feel you on that. It is tough, but going back to what Fetterplay said a little, we got a little off track, but when last year. Obviously, we didn't have teams, and we had like a team sideswipe. It wasn't really a team, but we would all be in the chat together, so we could bounce ideas off each other. And people hated us. They just absolutely hated us. We really didn't race that bad. Like there were a couple of us. Yeah. Bullshit. I didn't. Maybe Samuel Roberts or Kobe Roberts, because they all they sold their shit, but. And same with Cody, he sold his shit. Daniel, I think, sold his shit. He got married last weekend, so he's fucked now. So, but yeah, I mean,
I didn't make any friends at Indy Road Course.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, well, true, but I mean, it was almost like the same thing that's happening now. Like it was, but I will say the one difference is, as far as I remember and as far as I know, like, and again, I could be wrong. We never took that past the checkered flag. We would race our asses off in that race, and we would do everything we could to get the best finish we could in that race. And if somebody was upset with us, we would talk to them after the race, and that was it. It was over. There was no going to the chat. There was no, doing this or doing that in the chat. There was no putting memes in the chat. There was no, putting a meme tagging me as a dictator. And Briley did that shit, and that pissed me off tonight, honestly. I mean, it really did. And that, I mean, me and Briley, I thought we have been friends for a long, long time. That shit really pissed me off. 'Cause I
missed it. What happened?
It was after the whole thing where I kicked Noah because he made a joke and came back, and then I kicked him again, and I said that I'm not putting up with this bullshit anymore, basically. And Briley replied to my comment with a dictatorship flag, and that shit really pissed me off because me and Briley go back a long time. Me and Briley go back to the start of this whole thing, and
Before me.
Yeah, before you, but even before Cody Riggs. I mean, Cody Riggs was right there about the same time as Briley. Me and Briley have been friends for a long time. More, other than Withers. Withers is really the only one that I have been friends with probably longer than or the same amount of time as Briley, and that shit really just rubbed me the wrong way. And that again, I bring up Thomas Andrews and Briley both as perfect examples. It's what do your parents say when you're growing up? If you hang out with thugs, what do you end up becoming? You end up becoming a fucking thug. And I'm not saying that about either one of them, but I'm saying because of who they were hanging out with and who they have been in chats with, what other conclusion do you come to other than somebody's obviously feeding you some bullshit information, and then you're gonna and I know, I understand, like, I can take a joke. I'm not saying I can't. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, this shit is serious to me, and they're gonna make a joke and call me a dictator by putting that meme, and it's like, I'm just following the rules. I'm following the rules that all of us have agreed to over the years, and now I'm getting called out because I'm following the rules. So yeah, that really. There, hey, Reynolds has got the picture. Yeah,
I was about to bring it up. I was gonna show you how fucking deep Sideswipe
What
was.
the fuck do you pull this shit up out of your ass?
Wow.
Like,
Because
what?
Smeal had pulled up the graphic.
Oh my
Smeal,
god.
I found the
Smeal
one
had pulled up
Ryan
the-
made.
Yeah, here, hold on. I'll put it up there real quick.
So we had 9. That's 9 cars right there in
Oh,
Daytona.
no. We had more
That
than
wasn't even
9.
all of
Just
it. We
you
had
fucking
11.
wait.
That's true.
We had 11 of the 40.
So y'all were
Yeah.
like almost a quarter of the field. What the fuck?
Look at this shit.
Oh,
We're a quarter
yeah,
of the field.
yeah. There's the graphic. There's the graphic I made. That is Jeremy.
It was basically Bandit
Oh,
on
God.
AIDS.
So
That's
that's
what it is.
So that's Jeremy, Tommy, Cody, Kobe, Matthew Kent. I did not even know Matthew Kent was a part of Sideswipe. I had no idea.
Yeah,
He
was
was
a part of
for a
Sideswipe last year.
while.
Elliot.
He was for a while, and then Elliot said
I
something.
forgot about Elliot. That's a good buddy of mine from NASCAR Heat. Seth was there.
What happened
John,
to him?
Trey Kirk, me. I don't know why y'all kept me, but Daniel Robert. Yeah, that's it. That is a.
But you are the owner of the league, so I mean, they
Yeah.
probably had to kind
Sympathy
of
vote.
keep you in there.
I was not the owner of Team Sideswipe. I still am not the owner of
Cody
Team
is.
Sideswipe. So
Who was
Cody.
the owner of Team Sideswipe?
Cody.
Cody and
Cody.
Tracy, right? Well, didn't Tracy
Cody.
come up with it?
What was their last name?
Pannell.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
All right, Aiden. Yeah, that was good times back then, man. That really was.
Hey, I will say this: like when we got into iRacing, and we were racing, the only time I came up was during iRacing. I wasn't, the controller Xbox days like Moldy here. Yeah, but those were the good days.
Yeah, they were. Man, you should have been there. Should have been there at the start, man. It was. I still.
We need to go back and find that. Where's that Sideswipe radioactive, Ryan?
When y'all were racing, in Xbox, that was probably my first year or so on iRacing.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like Jacket. I've spent way too much fucking money. Shout out to Jacket. I know it's past his bedtime there at the nursing home. They kind of shut shit off, but
Surprised the Wi-Fi ain't turned off.
It may be.
God.
No,
That's what
but
mobile data's for.
if y'all go back to I still have on my phone to this day. I still have the first ever official results from a Talladega race that we did. And matter of fact, you know what? I'll find it right now. But I guarantee you, I know for a fact 3 names or 4 names that were on there. Mine, the Prophet, which is Tommy Withers, Briley was in there, and Jaco. There were several others. There was Deplorable Me, which is Terry Gabbard. For those of y'all that know who Terry Gabbard is, he used to be an owner, and now he owns a fucking
The best.
Yeah, he owns a pizza shop, so he can't be with us anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I actually looked at that the other day, and I'm like, man, I fucking miss that shit. Like I miss racing with like 8 or 9 of us. Nobody cared. Like we were just having fun. We didn't even know really who any of us were. Like we started a race, and I got a couple people that I had met in public lobbies, and I was like, hey, let's do this Talladega race all together, on this night. And everybody was like, yeah, we'll do it. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it. Let's get together. And like I said, I think it was 8 of us maybe, and it was so much fun. And now, y'all look at the Discord, we have 250 something members in the ARCS Discord, and it's just
50 of them is quiet.
exactly 50 of them are quiet, but the other 200, it's like, holy shit.
They're Aiden.
Like,
the other 200 is Aiden.
yeah, exactly. Aiden's other 200 coming in there telling us what we're doing wrong, but yeah, it was.
Dude, hey, honestly, that's why I love the dirt series. Like, there's not like 20-some people out on the track.
Yeah.
We're just there.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
if you're slow, you're like, hey, damn it, go to the inside. Slide job. Dale Jr., slide job.
Or Ryan Pinnell coming through in a sprint car, wrecking shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was 12 people in our first ever. So this is breaking. A lot of y'all don't know this. Like,
let's hear it. Breaking news
breaking
from Ryan
news.
Pinnell.
Yeah, breaking news. Even some of y'all that are in here may not remember this. So the first race we ever ran officially as ARCS, and again at the time it wasn't ARCS, but it goes back that far, was April 26, 2020. So that's well over 3.5 years ago. We ran at we ran at Talladega. Deplorable Me, Terry Gabbard won the race at Talladega. All right. We had a guy named Apex Zoltar finish second. I don't know if y'all remember him. Might remember. Yeah, you remember him. Yeah. He finished second. He was running the 13 car. Deplorable Me was in the 4. At the time, I finished third, okay, in the 15 car. I wasn't even in the 12 at that time.
15.
Yeah, I was in the 15 custom car. Briley finished 4th. Prophet finished 5th. We had a guy named E36 Kings finished 6th. E-Dog, which a lot of y'all know E-Dog. He doesn't have iRacing yet, but he came to Darlington with us. He finished 7th. He was running the 14 car. I Make You Laugh 30 finished 8th. That is Elliot Longenecker, who
was it really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that is
Wow.
Elliot, who ran on Team Sideswipe the first year before he decided ARCS was shit and he left, which I don't blame him. So, COT Tommy in the 2 car finished 9th. COT Tommy, that's Thomas Andrews for those of y'all that don't know. Jaco, Jason Alexander finished 10th. Prizzy,
you gotta love Jaco.
Listen to this. Prizzy finished 11th, and guess who finished dead last in 12th?
Don't say me.
Cody Riggs.
Wait, Prizzy, no shit.
Yeah, Prizzy. Yeah, Prizzy was in our first ever race at I don't even know if he knows that, to be honest.
He doesn't.
I don't think
He
he
don't.
does. I really don't. I did not.
Because I had iRacing way before Prissy. What the fuck?
I didn't.
Well, this was on Xbox.
This is Heat. This is on Heat. This is probably still Heat 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It is.
god.
Yeah, at 2020 in 2020, this is probably still Heat 4. Heat 5 hasn't even jumped.
I was on iRacing.
So
There
Prizzy,
you go, Ryan.
Prizzy has been. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So Prizzy has been around for so long. It is crazy.
Was he the 27?
Let me see. Hold on.
Was he the 27?
He was a custom number, so I'll say yes, he was the 27. Why not?
I think
shit. That was way before we knew it.
Sorry.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I think
man.
Fame was the 27 out of everybody, right?
Sounds like
Me?
I mean, it
I've never,
sounds right.
I've never been to fucking 27. Fuck out of here. I've been to.
You have no
Sometimes.
You have no idea how many times I've been in a race. They're an official in the open, and they're like, "God damn it, 27!" And I'm like, "Yeah, screw that guy."
Yeah, screw that motherfucker.
They have no idea, and I'm like, "Yeah, don't go with the 27. Screw him."
Ryan, what race was that you did the ARCS radioactive last year? Was that New Atlanta?
Yeah.
No, I think I had one at Talladega. It's still on the ARCS Racing YouTube channel. It's hilarious. I think we.
I would say
we had one at New Hampshire too.
Oh, shit.
Changed
Yeah,
everything.
I can understand
Oh,
whenever you're
my
talking
God.
about me.
Anytime anybody says anything about the 27 and A squared, no matter what it is, I'm like, yeah, that's you cannot bring up the 27. I don't care if he's in here or not.
I think the switch to iRacing changed everything as
It
far
did.
as the competitive level of ARCs. As soon as we switched over to iRacing, everybody really buckled up tight, you know.
Yeah,
They
yeah, and you put money into a rig, you put money into a server. I get that, but it's also a free league. It's not like people are paying into it. So I mean, what are they losing?
Yeah, but there's
Hey,
a
I'll tell you,
definite competitive difference between Heat and iRacing.
Yeah, that is a big jump. I mean, it's a huge jump.
I do have a serious question though.
Yeah, we'll do your question. Let's get to the chat because there's some spicy shit in there.
And then we'll
wrap
this shit up.
and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Buy me time to go fucking outside because it's 1:45 in the fucking morning.
So real quick, you know, we're going into race 28 at Kansas. I mean, you know,
go Bubba.
No, I'm talking about A squared.
Well, I'm 23, so go Bubba.
I'm talking about A squared. Race 28. You know, we're going into Kansas. How do you guys feel? You know, obviously, second race. You know, where do you guys feel? You know, I'm obviously not in A squared, so I'll kind of take the point in this.
Let me answer that question first because I'm going to step away for a second. You know, Kansas is going to remind me a lot of Las Vegas, I think. And Las Vegas is where I got my win this year. So I'm kind of excited to go back to a mile and a half and kind of do some of the things that I did in Las Vegas. Usually run good at the mile and a half, but then again, everybody kind of likes Kansas, so it might be one of those green and strategy races, and I've got to think it through and be mistake free, and I think I'll be all right.
It's definitely a different mile and a half, though.
It is, but from a strategy standpoint, it might not be. And you know, it's just in A squared. It always comes down to just how the race plays out versus what strategy you have. Same with TNT.
No, I agree, but I kind of take it as a very different track.
Yeah, it's also weird for me racing for stage points every stage. I'm usually the guy who doesn't give a shit about stages, and I'll see you guys, you know, with 50, you know, 40 laps to go, you'll see me peak in the top 10. But it's weird having to push to be up front consistently.
Obviously, I mean, you got one. What is it? One. Let's see here. You got one set on the car, 4 in the pits.
Also, I miss heat races. I'll be right back.
You got one set on the car, 4 in the pits. Obviously, you got to take in. I would assume tire management.
Yeah, for sure.
60% fuel. I mean, you got to throw in both of those scenarios. So not only you're managing, tire, you're managing fuel. It could be a caution fest. It could be not. I mean, what are you guys thinking? I mean, are you just kind of in the middle, running hard and saving tire, or are you taking the long run scenario here and you're kind of saving fuel?
I mean, me personally, because I missed Darlington, because I wasn't thinking when I scheduled a Saturday night A squared race the same night that Georgia played that same night, and I was going to the game, so I'm already behind the 8 ball, so I gotta go balls to the wall, just all out. I gotta get every point I can possibly get. There will be no saving. There will be no tire conservation. I gotta go. I gotta qualify well. I gotta run well. I gotta be in the top 10 in both stages. I have got to be there. It's a little different for everybody else, especially like Fetter Place and Reynolds, who are started the playoffs every bit of 15, 20 something points ahead of everybody else. I not only started at 2,000 points, but I missed the first playoff race. So I am in catch-up mode as far as the 12 car goes. So yeah, I'm gonna probably be more aggressive than I've ever been, and I'm going for it. I'm not saving tires. I'm not saving anything. But I'm sure that Fetter Place and Reynolds probably have a different outlook on how they're going to run their race. But I'm not holding anything back. I gotta go up there and get stage points as quick as I can.
Go ahead, Feem. I'll go after you.
I have no idea what the question was.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
I
You
was
go
reading
Fetter
chat.
Place.
That's
Fucking
pretty
energy drink.
entertaining.
It is entertaining.
You go
We'll
Fetter
get
Place.
to that in just a second.
What was the question?
I mean, basically, lap one's going to be stage 40, or the first stage in is going to be lap 40. Are you looking to push? The first 20 laps, save. Kind of hope for a caution. I mean, it is Kansas. I mean, you can run the bottom and you can save tire, or you can run the top and do your best to save a little bit of tire. I don't know how the next gen obviously runs at this track because I ran the Xfinity race, but I kind of said I would think it would kind of be the same. If you run the top wide open, you're obviously not going to have it at the end, closing in to lap 40. But I mean, what are you doing? I mean, you looking to push the first 40 laps, or are you looking to save a little bit? I mean, what's your kind of strategy going into Kansas?
Track position, someone push.
Mhm.
We got
I'll
push
be
point.
honest with you. Anybody who has a strategy now, come Sunday, is going to be wrong. Because with the update with the car, you're going to have no fucking clue. So you can't base it off of any previous tire strategy you had, maybe fuel strategy, but track position you're not going to know because you don't know if you're going to be able to pass or not. So it's not like it's going to fucking matter. But I mean, it has a lot of lanes where you can pass, but you're not going to know until you get into practice.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is kind of where me and Ryan always disagree. He always tells me that me and Reynolds, we've got wins, so we got decent points, whatnot. I don't look at it that way. I gotta attack each race. I need to get my head out of my ass first off because Darlington was a shit show for me personally. But I think I need to show up. I need to lead laps. I need to run up front. I gotta beat Reynolds. I gotta beat Gaiman. And there's a lot of people that I need to beat. And if I don't start showing better finishes and being as consistent as I was a majority of the season in the playoffs, well, it's not going to go my way, points wise or not. So
Well,
I feel
Fetter
pretty good about
Place.
Kansas. I ran a little bit in practice. I did just a little bit, actually, before we did this podcast. I think car feels fine. It's going to be a track where a lot of people are comfortable, so the racing is going to be really tough. It's going to be really close. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of cautions because you really got to smash the piss out of somebody to get them to spin. So
Yeah. It's
gonna
a
be,
track where you can throw it in the corners with the people and be
it's
fine.
gonna be one of those races where the car is easier to handle, but it's gonna be a really fucking tough race because of what's at stake, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a fixed race. Obviously, the setup is you can only do so much. So you can mess with the front master cylinder, the rear, your steering pinion. How are you guys taking that into consideration? Like
I
you
ain't telling
could.
you my setup.
Yeah, you want me
No,
to give away my fucking secrets live on air
Mm-mm.
here?
I'm
Yeah,
not.
fucking Bandit at it
Tell
again.
Hey,
Bandit Racing
hey,
so
you
he
know
can
what,
win.
dude? I'm not in bandit racing, goddammit. So listen here.
All the
Are
people that
you?
I'm
I'm
racing
back.
against are in this fucking pod and probably watching right now. I'm good.
So I'm
I'm back.
saying with the small amounts of the corrections you can make to the fixed setup, are you guys, kind of taking that into consideration? Are you messing with your master cylinders? You're messing with
Yes.
the offset.
Yes.
You messing with the steering
Yeah,
pinion. It's
Yes.
we'll give you the
I'll
yes, and that's as far as you're getting.
Yes to everything.
yeah,
Everything you're asking is yes.
we'll make
Yes,
it this
yes
simple.
to-
If you
yeah.
don't adjust your masters, you're just fucking yourself.
Yeah.
You're not gonna run good at all.
You're gonna finish
Yep.
21st, which is where I usually.
But
end up.
with the master cylinders and all that, that messes with the long run and the short run speed,
Oh,
right?
it's all about
It does, yeah.
balance.
It does.
Whichever way you shift it's gonna balance the car one way or the other.
Yeah.
You just gotta find that sweet spot.
All right, well, let's talk about the chat real quick, and then let's wrap this thing up. So obviously,
Come on, Ryan. Let's hear it. Shots fired. Come on, buddy.
Bring it.
so we'll
Come on back.
come on back. So we'll talk about obviously, Aiden and Emma went in the chat for like 15 minutes about the rubber rat and the fucking crazy.
Bring them in here.
Well, we will Sunday, but Aiden won't do it.
He
He's
got
scared.
rubber rat out of that.
Yeah, he's scared.
I told him
Anyway.
he can come on the pod and sound like a bitch instead of doing it in the chat, but I never got a
Oh,
response.
God.
For that.
Anyway,
Here
so
goes Famester.
we'll talk about what Moldy said. So he said, so I raced this series for 3 years and it all gets thrown out the window because I was messing around with Tommy and it inadvertently hurt one person's feelings. First of all, it did not hurt my feelings. You broke a rule. Didn't hurt my feelings. Was I upset? Yes, because you broke that rule. I left for that week to get away from the drama for a bit, which sounds like the reason you did, Ryan. That is absolutely why I left. That's why I left once, and you also left once. And then you left a second time, which was on your own accord, and that's fine. But after the second time, that is when we normally say, hey, if somebody leaves ARCs twice, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That whole bullshit, or whatever George Bush said in fucking 2008. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me again, or whatever he said. And that's apparently a no-no.
A fool can't get fooled again.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember what George Bush
something
said.
like that.
And that's apparently a no-no. I have never said that leaving the Discord once is a no-no. I understand that everyone needs a break sometimes. That does not mean you need to leave the Discord. You can mute the ARCS Discord, just like anyone in here or anyone in ARCS can do. Mute the Discord. You can delete Discord off your phone. You don't have to leave the Discord to take a break. You know, I understand that if that's what you have to do, then you have to do it. That's what I did. You know, I could have did the same thing. I could have just deleted Discord off my phone. I didn't feel like that was going to be the best for me. So, yes, I left Discord once. I'm not trying to hide that. I don't know why everybody's like, you know, keeps throwing that in my face. Like I didn't leave the Discord. Yes, I left the Discord. And, you know, when I left the Discord, obviously everyone, you know, y'all all had a meeting with Tom Sears, and, you know, he told y'all that everything would be okay because, you know, Kenzie was in that meeting and she told me what was happening. Like, I knew what was going on. I wasn't oblivious to the fact that everybody was moving on, and like I said, I could leave right now after this podcast. I could leave all this shit and ARCS would still continue. I'm not saying that it wouldn't. It would. It would continue on without me, just like it has continued on without Terry Gabbard and continued on without, you know, Thomas Andrews in an ownership role. It would continue on without me. But in that week, that was not my concern. I honestly needed a week away. And again, I understand that everyone in this Discord is dealing with their own personal shit, just like I am. I'm dealing with my own personal shit, and some of y'all that are very, very close to me know what that personal shit is. It's probably way more personal shit than you are dealing with, I promise you. Especially as a 17-year-old, I promise you, right now, I'm dealing with more personal shit than probably everyone in this Discord. And I'm not going to get into that personal shit because it's none of y'all's business, to be completely honest. But I have gone through a lot of shit at the age of 31. I'll be 32 this November. And again, like I said, it's none of y'all's business because that's my personal business. But I've been through a lot of shit. And on top of that, I have this entire organization that I have helped not only build to what it is, but helped, you know, keep running. So yeah, I do sometimes take offense when a 17-year-old says, "Well, I'm dealing, you know, I left because I'm dealing with some shit." Bro, I'm right there with you, bud. I'm dealing with shit too. Everybody in this podcast is dealing with shit. I promise you. You know, Tommy Reynolds is fucking 17 or 18. I don't know. I think he just turned 18. I mean, he's basically a kid. So, but I promise you that. Yeah, exactly. So, and he's dealing with shit too. We're all fucking dealing with shit. We all deal with
Life.
shit. It's
Yep.
yeah. I mean, life. It is what it is. And sometimes, yes, we have to take a step back and say, you know what? I need a week off. I need a break. You know, and we have all been there before. If you haven't been, then I applaud you. I am so happy that you have never been to that point. But I promise you, at some point in your life, you're gonna get to that point where you say, "I need a break. I need a fucking week off. I need, you know, I need just a breather of everything that is going on in life." So yes, to that statement where you said, you know, you left for a week. Understand. I get you, buddy. I did the same thing. Then you leave again. Okay. This is where I get a little. This is where alerts start going off to me, because now you've left and now you've come back and you're racing and everything's good, and now there's controversy, including Toby's Bandit Racing team that he won't claim. Look, he turned his camera off. He don't even know how to turn his mute button off.
God damn it!
Oh shit!
Feed Daddy up there sucking dick.
Anyway, so and again, I never told, and I talked to Joshua Garrison, and I even talked to Briley. I never wanted Bandit Racing to leave A Squared. You can ask Feem, you can ask Reynolds, you can ask Fetterplace. All of them. I never wanted them to leave A Squared.
Mm-hmm.
But they did, and that was their decision. So why? I'm not going to question what they decided to do. That is their own decision. I'm not going to beg them to come back. I'm not going to, say, "Oh, I really want." That was their decision. They left on their own accord. We made a penalty that honestly really meant absolute jack shit, because all it was is Aiden lost his playoff points and had to start from pit road at Darlington. Me and Jeremy didn't even start the race. We didn't even race. We had drop points. So that's 2 of the 16 playoff competitors that only gained 10 points. If you start from pit road, you can't tell me that Aiden Norman wouldn't have drove his ass off and caught up, and I guarantee you he still would have finished probably 8th, 9th, or 10th in that range, because we did go. I mean, even with the cautions for the stages, he would have been there. But instead of that, they pulled their entire team from my series that I have put 38 weeks of money, time, effort, not blood, that's a lie, but sweat, and sometimes, some yelling and screaming over one penalty. And it was all because, I got told it's just too serious. Well, what do you want me to do? It is the premier Cup series of ARCs. If we are not serious, we end up a laughing stock of all, not just ARCs, but just everybody talks about us at that point. We have to be serious. We have to look at these issues. We have to look at these penalties. So, again, and I'm getting off the message, so I'll get back to it. But I did not want Bandit Racing to leave. I did not. But it happened. In the last podcast, I talked about how I hated that Joshua Garrison was involved in it. I got called out after the podcast. I won't even lie. I'll be out front with you. I got called out saying, "Hey, did you say this on the podcast?" I said, "You're damn fucking right I said it on the podcast, because that's exactly what was told to me." And I got a response of, "Well, that's not what was told to me." I'm like, "Well, I got screenshots saying that you're wrong." So I hate that Joshua Garrison does not get to run A Squared anymore. That is the most respectful, one of the most respectful drivers, and one of my best friends from a long, long time ago. And he got absolutely fucked in the ass by this move. And I won't back down from that. And I'll talk anybody involved in it. I'll talk to them on this podcast 1v1, but I'm sure they probably won't talk to me. So anyway, we'll move on. And he said, "And how am I supposed to know there's a rule about it when Quiet leaves every other week and comes back yet he still lives on? Makes no sense." Quiet has not left the Discord since we banned him for a week for some dumb shit he said, which we banned him for a full week. Quiet forgot his password to his old account because he's not very smart. So he forgot the password to his old account. He had to create a new account and join ARX. He did not leave ARX. He forgot his password. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if he started a new email account, but I don't know. But he never physically left ARX. He forgot his password, couldn't get into his old Discord account, created a new Discord account that we then invited him to the ARX Discord. He never left. You can still go in the ARX Discord right now, and you can see Patrick Allen, GTA admin, is still a member of ARX Discord. We should probably kick him because he doesn't have access to that account anymore. Now he has Patrick Allen, British account number 5 or whatever we named him. But he never left the Discord. And he's done the same shit before, year and a half, 2 years ago. He did the same shit. He forgot his password. He couldn't get access to that account. That's why we joke about Patrick Allen Jr. having 50 accounts. You know, the 250 members, 50 of them are quiet because he forgets his password. And then he creates a new Discord account and he comes back in and he is but he never left. He didn't hit the button to say leave ARX Discord, and that takes a lot because I'm going to tell y'all right now, when I was in the airport, when I was at the airport and all this shit, this was right after I made the rule in A Squared, where no one agreed with it. Briley was one of the first ones that said this is dumb, and I agree. It was, when I go back and look at it, it was. But I was trying to fix the racing to help everyone, but everyone was said, "Whoa, this is dumb. This is stupid. Don't do this." And well, at that point, I was like, you know what? I need a break. But when I hit that button and it said leave Discord, I'm telling y'all now, I sat there for probably 2 minutes thinking about whether I really wanted to hit that button because I knew what it meant. I knew that if I hit that button, that that I was out. I was done for a week and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't say anything, and it took everything in my being to hit that button. So to hit that button as a joke, I'm sorry, but that's not okay. It really isn't. Everybody has that joke where it's like, dude, you went too far. Like that. Everybody has that, where you get to that point where you're like, dude, you know what? You went too far. Feemster's headset died, so he's out.
Likely excuse.
Yeah. All right. See you, Feem. We'll close this thing out here quickly. Maybe. I don't know. We might go another fucking hour and a half.
So
we've already gone 240, so
yeah, he's
let's do 20 more.
So Belleville, what does everyone else in the pod think I should be banned? I mean, ultimately, I don't really know if that's up for debate. I mean, what do you think, Ryan? I mean, does it matter what we think at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I like Moldy, and I will let him back. I'm not. I will never let a rule like that. I mean, it is a rule that we've had in place, but I'm not gonna let that define this kid's career with ARCs. Like I want him to race. I mean, the kid is fast as hell. Like it's
right.
I don't want this rule, but I just want him to understand where I'm coming from. Like I didn't do it just because I could. I didn't do it just because, oh, I'm the owner, I can do whatever the hell. No, that's not why I did it. I did it because when you hit that button to me, and like I said earlier, you hit that button to leave arcs, to me, that means that's a big deal. Like, I don't think any of y'all in here, maybe Reynolds, I don't know. I don't think Reynolds has left arcs. He's had
Probably.
he's had his moments where I think
My
he's
my
thought
account
about
got hacked that one time.
That's true.
But
That's true.
I
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
he
bad day.
he did have
That
some
was a
weird,
really bad day.
He had a quiet moment where he didn't forget his password. His shit got hacked, so he came in on
clicked on something sketchy.
Yeah, he thought he was looking at MILFs and he ended up getting hacked. So you'll have that on the big jobs. But no, I mean I don't. Again, at the end of the day, I didn't mean to cut you off, Better Place. I'm just saying at the end at the end of the day, no, I will let Moldy back in. I don't want to keep Moldy from. Obviously, right now, all he wants to race is TNT and SNS because Bandit Racing and Moldy and Aiden, they can't stand Ignition and they can't stand A Squared because we do we don't do stuff right apparently, which is fine. I don't.
That's why I race Ignition.
Yeah. I bet. So I mean, yeah, but no, I'm not trying to keep him out of arcs. I mean, I just want him to understand, like, I want everyone to understand, not just him. I want everyone to understand that, like, when you click that button to leave arcs, like that, to me, that's a commitment to say, I don't want to be involved anymore. And to do it once, I understand because I've been there. Like I said, I had that button up for, over 2 minutes, and I finally clicked it, and then after literally it was like 4 days, and I was like, I can't. I gotta come back. I want to be a part of this because I know how great this is. Even in our terrible shit that we do, all these shitty races like the TNT lobby being fucked up, Ignition having their issues, A Squared, being fucked up, all fucking year apparently according to everybody. I still want to be a part of it. I want to be here. I want to help. I want to try and make it better. But for somebody to hit that button as a joke, that hurts. That hurts my heart more than I think anybody understands, I guess. And I don't know. Maybe nobody understands, and that's fine. It is what it is. But
I think I can figure it out. But yeah, I don't. I guess I don't share that same emotional connection you do. I mean, I guess because you created it, you know what I mean, and I didn't. But if I had to say my 2 cents to Belleville, first it would be I feel like he should be back, but I also think that him leaving was it's kind of like that SpongeBob meme where it's like, hey, you want to see me do it again?
yeah,
And that it's come on, man, it's horse shit.
yeah,
Let's figure this shit out. You got these two young guys who like to talk shit, like to troll, and I'm fine with it. Hey, I'm cool with it because I don't mind trolling every now and again, and talking shit. But when you've crossed a line where you're basically flexing and you're saying, hey, look, I can fucking leave and come right back if I want to. Fuck you. You don't know shit. I got people who invite me back. What are you gonna do about it? Kick me? Okay, I'll be invited back again.
yeah.
If that is the undertone of what you're doing, then don't come back. Because I can tell you right now, for me, I'm part of. If I sat here and counted them, I mean, not as many as Aiden, but I'm probably part of 15 different Discords, and I've left one and went back to. All the rest of them that I left, I never went back because there was a reason why I left. I didn't want to race there anymore. I didn't want to talk to
Yeah.
them people. I didn't want anything to do with them people. I
Yeah.
didn't leave because I wanted to flex. I didn't leave because I wanted to prove a point. I just fucking left because I'm done with it. I don't know if that's a older versus younger mentality. I don't fucking know. But,
I think
you
it
know,
is. But
I think, I don't have shit to prove to nobody. And I think these younger guys need to know that. If you are going to talk shit, talk your shit and then be done with it. Quit fucking dragging this shit on for fucking 12 hours. And then, answering questions with questions just because you know to get a rise out of somebody. Like, come on, man.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
deal with it and move the fuck on.
And I mean, like the perfect example of what I'm talking about is Aiden's comment where, he says, wild generalization to say that I'm dealing with more than anyone else.
That's just a poke. That's all it
Yeah,
is. There's
it
there's
is.
nothing
There's
legitimate about what he just said. He
yeah,
is literally
it's
just spewing out a
yeah,
fucking question to get you riled up.
yeah, exactly. And he says, but that's not trying to downplay Ryan's own problems, but that's a crazy statement. Just assuming everyone has it easier. Again, I never said that here in this podcast. I literally said that I know everyone is dealing with problems. But, again, I'm dealing with those same problems, but also having to deal with managing this league. So I don't understand. I don't fully understand. Like I get it. I understand that everyone is dealing with other shit. I'm not saying that everyone else has it easier. I don't think anyone has it easier. We're all dealing with shit. It's a hard life out there for all of us. Like we're all trying to, fucking make our way into, not being fucking lower class, mid class, middle class if we're lucky. I highly doubt, maybe jacket. Other than that, none of us are really high class, you know, civilians out here. We're all just trying to fucking make it and fucking pay our bills and, but some people don't have to pay bills yet. They're not, I'm not saying you don't have to pay bills, but some of our members are at the age where you don't have a house, you don't have a wife, you don't have an ex-wife, you don't have you know you don't have those things. You don't have 2 cars. You don't have and again, I'm not downplaying anyone. I'm really not. And again, Better Place, what you said, uh, he said he was, you said he was, just trying to poke, you know, poke me.
I mean,
But
generally,
he says that that's not what it was meant to be.
right?
That's
No,
exactly what he said.
yeah.
And that's that's his counter to, no, I'm not trying to poke you, but he is. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's I think
Well, and
Toby's
that's the
fallen
issue.
asleep at his rig. I think he's out.
He has, but but that's not a dig at
No.
Aiden. For me, from an outside perspective, if you want to communicate with someone, okay, my oldest son does the same shit, and that is you start throwing out nonsense. Like if me and him were having a debate about something, like say
Yeah.
he did something he wasn't supposed to do, his rebuttal is a question about something completely fucking different, and
Yeah.
it's like that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't care what happened in TNT. Like if I was you and he was arguing with me, it's like I don't care what happened in another series. We're talking about A squared or we're talking about whatever. I don't need your questions. I don't
Yeah.
need any of that. I want you to talk to me like a grown up. Talk to me like a human being. Say what you have to say, but don't be throwing shit while you're doing it. Like let's have a real fucking conversation. If not, then quit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I agree.
that's the way that I just feel
I
about a
agree.
lot of stuff. Like if anyone ever had an issue with me, come and talk to me. I would
Yeah.
rather someone tell me I'm a piece of shit to my face than talk shit behind my back any day of the week.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I hate the the passive aggressive, texts and chats and stuff like that. It's not helping. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the league. And I know I've done it too. I've been there. I have replied to chats where I should have just not. Even believe it or not, I'm 31 years old, and Tommy Reynolds has had to send me a message saying, "Hey, quit. Quit. Don't stop. Stop."
God damn, I'll be 39 in 11 days. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll be 32 in November.
You old bastard.
Yeah.
You can see my fucking gray hair. Look at
yeah.
this shit.
Tommy Reynolds is, how old are you, Tommy? Like fucking 19, 18, 19?
12. He's
Yeah.
12.
I literally have had an 18-year-old tell me, "Hey, Ryan, stop. And that's like, when an 18-year-old tells me, "Hey, Ryan, stop. Quit. You're going too far." That's when I really have to step back and go, "Okay. I need to just be cool, be calm, not worry about this shit." But it's hard sometimes. I mean, it really is. And I know Toby's gone. All right, bye, Toby. Motherfucker left as quick as he came in. Jesus Christ.
He said, "Oh shit, there's an old fucking there. I'm out."
Yeah, you talk about gray hairs. He gone. Yeah, I mean, that's just the truth of it. I mean, sometimes it is really difficult for me to not say what's on my mind. And, I think everybody in the Discord is able to say what they want to say, and they don't have any repercussions, where for me, it's like, you can't say anything, because if you say something, they're gonna use it against you. Don't wait. Don't worry. 2 months from now, they're gonna screenshot what you sent, and they're gonna send it back, just like they did today. When I left the Discord. I mean, I don't know how far back. I mean, it was July something. So you're talking from September to July that Aiden had to go back and find when I left the Discord to screenshot it and then send it back to me. That is ridiculous to me. I mean, that is just holy shit. Like, kudos to him for going all the way back there and finding that shit. Like, good job, bud. Like,
I got, like I said, I talked to Aiden. He's a good dude. I don't mind talking to him. I talked to Belleville, talked to all them guys. I talked to everybody in here. But sending a text is fucking easy.
Yeah.
Get in these voice chats. Get on this podcast.
Yeah.
Put a fucking video camera on your face. Make it personal.
Yeah.
Now say what you need to say.
Yeah, text is easy because you can hide behind the phone.
It's not personal. We don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Could be a fucking bot. You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
who fucking knows? Say what you got to say. If you feel that strongly about what you're talking about, make it known without doing it through text. Get on your fucking phone. Call someone. Be in voice. Be in here. Be on the video. Do something. If you feel that strongly about it. If you don't, say your words in chat. It is what it is.
Smeal, Withers, y'all got any thoughts on this before we try and wrap this thing up here?
Not really.
They all died.
I mean, I don't.
No, I'm here. My mic was once again muted. No, it's just the only thing I was thinking was I do remember I was around when that rule was made. We made it for a reason. The whole you can't leave more than 3 times or 2 times, whatever. Like, I do remember that when that was around, but that was many ounces of weed ago, man. So I don't remember why we made that rule, but it was important at the time.
He's honest
That's
about
all
it.
I have to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
but I do agree that it should not be taken lightly for sure. And there's no reason for anybody to be like one-upped, Nobody should walk around here thinking that they're better than anybody else or that they're untouchable.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody should be held accountable for everything.
And I mean, even Moldy talked about, like, you know, he just wants to play War Thunder with Withers again, and it's like,
Yeah, and that's
you know,
I love Molly, man. Like he's been a part of
and
Prophecy and
yeah,
other sports. I love hanging out with him and
and
playing
you
other
know,
games
I
aside
I
from
commented and I was like, well, hell, like, and me, sad face, I don't know how to do emojis in fucking Twitch chat, so I guess I'm old, but
You're
I can't.
telling me my old ass knows how to do emojis more than you do?
I
Get the fuck out of here.
literally don't know how to do emojis. I literally put in the
So-
chat, and me, sad face. I I don't. That's
So
all.
I didn't know it played out like that. I thought that Moldy, I was just told that Moldy left it just down. So I didn't, think much about it. I was like, well, I guess, he just had gotten tired of it, needed more space, whatever. I didn't even know that whole thing went down.
hmm
But I was sad, man. I love running with Moldy, so. But at the same time, I agree with what Better Play said. Well, there's a way you need to act. We're all grown ups. We're here to have a good time, but also, we all should respect each other, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, whether you're 17 or 32 or 39 or, you know, Jacket's 85. I mean, we all gotta act. You know, I mean, we're all.
Apparently Tom Spears
the
is
only way
too.
that this is gonna work with this many people is if we do that. Like it's just not gonna
Yeah.
work any other way.
I agree,
You see
and
people boycott leagues and stuff like. That's all. It fundamentally comes back to that.
and I agree with that. That's why I'm so frustrated that, you know, again, and Smill's still in here. You know, is Ignition perfect? No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Do we
absolutely
try
not.
do we try and do the best we can? Yes, we're trying. Like, we are literally trying the best we can to make it fair for everyone. But then, you know, we enter the playoff season and we have drivers that are, you know, quote unquote boycotting Ignition. Well, then what keeps me from boycotting TNT? Like, if you're gonna be petty like that, like, why should I run TNT, or why should I run, you know, any other series? Like, what, like, that to me is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it is. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And again, I don't do well with text. I'm you know, I'm not quite as old as Brandon Fetterplace, but I'm close. I'm right
Don't
there.
remind me.
I'm right there with him. You know, if you send something in general chat, like, okay, yes, I might read it. I might not. It just depends. Like, what I'm doing that day, I may see it and I may just glance over it. I may read it. I may forget about it. You know, we all have personal lives. If you talk to me one on one, whether it be this podcast, whether it be a voice chat one on one, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear that better than someone saying something in a general chat, or, you know, an SNS general chat, or a TNT general chat, or an A Squared general chat, or an Ignition general chat. I'm sorry, but fellas, I got a lot of shit going on, and I don't necessarily always read all of those to the T of what everyone says in those chats. Neither does anyone in this Discord. You know, we all see notifications and we just go, "Yep, saw it." Scroll to the bottom, and then you're like, "All right, I'm caught up. I'm good." And if anyone disagrees,
Well, they make really good toilet reads.
yeah, they do. Yeah, you can do that. But if anybody disagrees, then you're full of shit. Because I know people have seen, like, you know, especially the general chat. They're just like, let me scroll to the bottom so this notification goes away, and then, all right, I'm done. All right, let's go to the next Discord. I mean, because I have witnessed people be like, when I'm in a race, I'm like, okay, everybody good with this? And they're like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I put it in the Discord, and they're like, well, I didn't see it. And I'm like, I fucking added everyone. What do you mean you didn't see it? Well, I didn't see it. Well, Well, that's exactly my point. Nobody reads the Discord. I have mentioned that several times, even in the admin chat. I'm like, nobody reads this fucking Discord. Why do we even have this Discord? This is dumb. Like, so, I mean, it is what it is. But to boycott a series is honestly just silly. And then to pull out a team from a series is even more silly to me, to be honest. I mean, obviously Toby's gone.
There's just other ways
but-
to make things better than to do that, right?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
like there's just and everybody has to help out, you know, like
Mhm.
why make things so hard for everybody? Like I know Ignition's not perfect, SNS isn't perfect, A Square's not perfect.
Yeah,
But we're
none of us
all a
are.
part
I
of
mean-
ARCs. We all want it. We all want it to be better. You know, it's not like we're not trying to make things better.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's the
mean,
slippery slope, Ryan. What you said about
probably.
you know about boycotting series. I think the terminology. I don't like the terminology. Kind of like what you said, the boycott part. It's everyone's right to run or not run a series. And that's their right. If they don't want to run, don't run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's everyone's right who is part of the Discord. I think where it becomes a problem is if you actually schedule things or make things those same days of the stuff that you are refusing to run,
Mhm.
and then are trying to get the people out of that whatever you're competing against
Mhm.
to go run that hypothetically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Hypothetically, but not
if-
hypothetical.
If all you're doing is just not running or boycotting, that's you're right. You know what I mean? You don't want to
Yeah.
run, don't run. You want to pull your
Oh.
team out, pull your team out.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it is what it is.
It does. It does suck, but I mean, it again, I'm not. I'm not.
It does suck for Dirt though.
Yeah,
I think everything happened a little too fast. You
Yeah.
know, if everybody had a 24-hour, like always, whenever I get upset about the stupid shit that happens in
Yeah.
or just my daily life, I try to have like a 24-hour rule. It's like, all right, I'm gonna not explode about this for 24 hours, and we'll see how things are tomorrow. But I don't think
Yeah.
he had a lot of time to think about everything that was happening, and he didn't want people to race that didn't want to race. He doesn't want to make somebody do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's.
He'd rather sacrifice his time on the track. So I think it does suck that he was caught up in everything.
I agree. That was exactly what I talked to him about. And I even told him after the podcast last time the podcast we did, I messaged Dirt right after the podcast, and I was like, hey, look, I may have said some stuff on the podcast that you may or may not get some messages about, but
Yeah,
I hate,
and I don't even think that's like it's
I
not
hate
even
it for Dirt.
It's not. Yeah, it's not Dirt's fault. It's not Briley's fault. It's not your fault. It's just like not enough time was given
Yeah.
to really think about things, and we didn't have the right communication channels.
Well, I disagree. I think it was Briley's fault. It was Briley's team, and Briley decided to pull that team, and that was his call.
I don't think he would have pulled it though if he
I-
knew Dirt wanted to race.
Well, Dirt told me he didn't want teammates that would do that. So
Right, but that's the Detroit, right? Like that's how we got where we are now. I think if we
Yeah,
all
well-
sat together and said, why don't you guys want to race? How can we make it better? Then maybe
Well,
that.
Hey, I'm back. I'm in a cold tub right now. But remember, they left in reaction to the penalty that was given. They were if no penalty came out, it probably would have just went away, and we would have got bark from the other drivers. But because
That's
the penalty
true.
went out, when the penalty went out, then 12 hours later, when I woke back up, all of a sudden an entire team was gone. I was like, we pretty much agreed. The penalty was a middle road of no penalty or completely banned, and then we landed in the middle, and it really affected no one but Aiden, in his playoff ability, which he would have been fine if he goes out and wins the race. It would have been a moot point at that juncture. So their reaction to what was a simple rules penalty and explained out in the penalty channel, that's what kind of snowballed the effect.
Yeah, that was definitely the root source of everything.
I do agree that started it, but at the end of the day, I can't be there in every team owner's head. I can't. I never. Bradley never once came to me personally and said, "Hey, what can we do to make this make more sense?" Like I don't. I never got that. It was
right, and it's not that I don't blame either of you for that either. It's
Yeah.
that's just guys, men being men. We have other shit like you said going on. Nobody has time to really worry about that. But
yeah.
I think there's some of the changes that we're doing in 2024 will, with maybe being able to appeal things, is definitely going to help. That maybe that would have resolved the whole thing right there.
It could have for sure. And we
Yeah,
will have.
it definitely will, because we're going to have an exact wording to go back to, and if the action doesn't violate a rule or a penalty, then nothing gets put out there, because it's all written down, agreed upon by 5 different people, reviewed by the drivers of the ARCS community, and then put into action. So there's going to be no way if ands ors about it when. If you violate one, here's the penalty. If you don't violate, then we move on and move to the next thing.
I think I don't mean to kind of change the subject. I'm kind of reading what they're putting in the chat, kind of doing my own little due diligence here. I feel like he does have a small point here, and that would be a lot of things get covered up because there is a lot of chatter in general chat. So maybe if we would utilize our announcements channel a little bit more with important announcements, like hell, even this podcast, the notification for it, because it gets kind of lost.
Yeah.
With all the chatter. I kind of get what he's saying. I see,
Yeah, most.
Let me say this real quick. Aiden, yeah, you did influence your team. Your actions do have influences. I know nobody's ever told you that, but your actions have fucking consequences.
Yeah.
Fucking time and again. It's not coincidence that Briley also pulled out after you pulled out.
Well, another thing is, Moldy said if Dirt wanted to race, Bradley and I would have also raced. Again, y'all put.
But you shouldn't put Dirt in that situation.
Exactly.
Man.
That's what I'm just gonna say. You can't put Dirt in that situation. So you're telling Dirt, hey, buddy, if you want to race, me and this other guy will race. Well, what do you expect from Dirt? Like what? Dirt is a stand-up guy. We all, me, everybody in here can attest to Dirt to Daytona. Joshua Garrison, as y'all know him on iRacing, has been around since almost day one. He has run in Heat 4, Heat 5, iRacing. He has been around for so long. And I consider Joshua Garrison one of my close friends. Me and him have talked about, personal stuff. We have talked about our, job situations, me and him together. We have talked about so much stuff. Like I consider Joshua Garrison a really close friend. If I came to, let's just say, like, let's put this into perspective. Let's say I went to Kevin Feemster and I said, hey, Feem, if you want to race, me and Boss will continue to race. Well, what do you think? Like, what do you think as a team owner when someone comes to a person like that?
But then finish it by saying, "But if you don't want to, then we're done."
Exactly. But if you don't want to race, we're pulling our team out of this competition because it's too serious. It's ridiculous. It's getting crazy. you know, the racing is ridiculous. This is, you know, so stupid. They're you know, they're whatever excuse, whatever it was that we did wrong in A squared.
I mean, even if I was
What do
put in that situation,
yeah, I
I would
mean,
do the same thing
I
and
th-
be like, all right, well, I guess we're not
yeah.
racing anymore. You know, like I would do the same thing
Exactly.
if
I mean,
I was.
it would be the same as like if Tom Sears and even Fetter Place told me his, you know, he would be pissed if Tom Sears pulled the rug. But if Tom Sears goes to Fetter Place and says, hey, if you keep racing, then me and Emma will keep racing. But if you don't want to keep racing, we're gonna pull out of A squared. Like, what
Dirt
kind of
is never gonna make you spend 4 hours of every
no.
Sunday doing something you don't want to do because on his behalf. He's just never gonna make someone do that. And
Yeah.
I
I mean, I'm
respect
kind of
that.
that asshole. I would.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the
really.
difference. I mean,
But I
the
mean,
good thing,
I understand what you're saying. For me, you know, if Tom, if, you know, if that situation came to me, um, I'm motherfucker. I'm racing.
yeah.
That's what I want to do on my Sunday. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. I'll fly the flag by myself. Fuck you guys. You know what I mean?
well,
Like that's just
and
how I feel about it.
the good thing is in 24 with everything that went on. I mean, we were in construction of the rule book, and then when the team pullout happened, we went in and rewrote some of the team language. And one of them is if a team owner decides to exit A squared or exit the Discord, all those drivers immediately become independent drivers, free on their own recognizance to race or not race, and then are eligible to be picked up inside the next roster window. So it you know, if an owner wants to, you know, make a protest of some sort and move on, it disbands that team, and then all the drivers are eligible to make their own decisions at that point.
Well, I mean, like I told Ryan in the last podcast, if I actually read the rule book, I would be like, "Hey, can you all leave the Discord so I can have an
Yeah.
entire different team?" Like,
Yeah. I
because
mean, honestly,
evidently
I mean,
it was
that's
there. I didn't even know
yeah.
because I didn't read the shit.
Well, and a lot of it will be new language, things that are new in the team realm and the individual realm, but there are, you know, obvious time penalties, and like say you leave as a driver, you leave, then come back. Well, you're ineligible from teams the rest of the season, you know, to avoid that collusion aspect of the stuff. Same for there was another one. Oh, if a driver breaks a contract, so, you know, leaves the team without the team owner actually releasing that driver is ineligible for the next bracket of races. You know, versus being able, like how I don't know if Reynolds' situation where if he just left Bandit or if Bandit released him. Well, if he just left, then Beatron wouldn't be able to pick him up. But if he was released, well, then now he's an open free agent at that point.
That's pretty interesting. I'd like to know how you can actually kind of rule that. Because I mean, what if you and your team owner get into an argument, and then he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna tell him you fucking dipped. Like, and
Yeah.
you can't race, bitch. Like, what now?" So
Yeah.
Well,
that would be kind of
obviously,
interesting.
it's there is manipulation that can go apart. Hopefully, we're honorable enough to not have that. And if you just don't want to race for a team anymore, well, then you just all you're sacrificing is your ability to race for a team. You just continue on as that independent driver. If it's that serious to where you want to leave a team and break a contract. Now, if a team owner wants someone gone, well, they have to wait until, you know, the marker, so the roster change marker, unless they decide to, you know, break the contract, in which case the owner can't pick up a driver and the driver is independent. So they both end up with, you know, a certain time penalty over, you know, over that decision.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, like Moldy said, it's, you know, he's talking about, you know, Dirt saying, you know, he said no, and so they pulled the team, and then he said it's all in the past. I don't see why it matters now. Well, it matters to me because the rest of my season now I'm down a team because, you know, for whatever reason, it, you know, that was y'all's decision. So Of course it matters to me because the rest of the year now I'm down 4 drivers. 5 if you have a part-time driver come in. It's a big deal.
And it matters to Dirt every
Yeah,
Sunday.
exactly, and it matters to Dirt
Well-
more than anything. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Ross
If you
is
look
driving.
at what's coming up this weekend at Kansas, we have 23 currently signed in to show up for the Kansas race. Well, that is a legitimately full roster because you got 4 of each, and now there's only 6 teams, without Bandit in there. So by numbers, we would have all 6 of our teams in there. Granted, there may be a part-time driver in there, but now we're kind of capped out at the 24 mark because there's only the 6 teams versus being the 28 mark with the 7 teams.
You made me paranoid. I had to go check and see if I had it interested.
No 10-point penalty in the playoffs, please.
Yeah, that's all I need is more fucking
Penalties.
issues.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I agree with Moldy. I mean, yes, I do partially agree with him when he says, yeah, either way you were going to be down a team because even if the team stayed, nobody would have raced. I disagree. I think Dirt would have showed up. I'm just being honest. I think because Dirt has even talked to me about like potentially racing as an off, like a one-off team. But obviously, like I can't do that because that goes against the rules. And
That's what sucks is that we shouldn't have to keep adjusting things because of the situations that drivers put us in as admins. Like things that like this whole thing shouldn't have happened to make it so we can't like amend a rule just because of the situation that you guys put yourselves in. Like, and I'm not an A squared admin, but if that happened in SNS, I would feel the same way. Like,
agreed. But if we amend that rule, of course this rule would benefit Bandit Racing, so of course we would get no pushback. But if any rule that we put into effect that didn't benefit Bandit Racing, it would be a fucking all-out fucking slugfest.
Yeah.
And point out, if you amend this rule, then what rule wouldn't you amend? And
Right,
what
you
rule
set
shouldn't you
precedent.
amend? Like it exactly.
We go down a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the 24 rule book is written to immense detail and down into the minutia of things, so that if in that off chance we have to go in and amend something or add something, there's an ending clause to that rule book that says any in-season changes to this rule book have to be unanimous across the 5-person admin council because it needs to affect everyone equally. If it disadvantages one and advantages another, well then that rule is not going to go into effect, maybe until the 25 season when we look at it at a more in-depth place and it starts from the beginning and not from like race 14.
Yeah. It's one of those things where damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, like I said in the last podcast, and I'll bring it up again, I allowed Moldy to run in A squared. I changed that rule mid-season where we allow controllers to run in A squared. And again, that podcast, everybody in the chat was, well, we're not going to applaud you for changing a dumb rule to start with, blah, 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 blah. Well, I understand that. Whether it was a dumb rule to start with or not, it was a rule. And we changed it mid-season, and everything was fine. Everything was good. I mean, again, I talked about it last podcast. I'll talk about it here for a few seconds. No one had any adverse reactions to that rule that I changed. What the fuck are you doing? What the hell? You can't change rules mid-season. You can't do that shit. It's against the fucking rule. You can't do. Blah, blah. Crickets. Chirp, 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 chirp.
It's amazing how that works.
In all honesty, I'm trying to poke holes in your logic, and I don't really think I can because you're right.
I'm not right a lot of the time, but the last podcast I talked about it, and my response that I got was, well, I'm not going to applaud you for a dumb rule that you made in the first place. Okay, I'm not asking for applause. Was it a dumb rule? Maybe. But I wanted the most realistic experience to what would be expected in a next-gen car, which would be a steering wheel and pedals. That's what I wanted for A squared. I wasn't singling anyone out. If anyone else, if Juan, we've had several people that have been on controllers in TNT that have absolutely dominated the field. Juan Jimenez, I think actually maybe he may have transitioned. I think his name's Juanita now, or Thomas Andrews told me. I don't remember, but him, her, Moldy, anyone else that's on controller, I wasn't discriminating against anyone in particular. That's just what I wanted for the A squared experience, is for everyone to have control, to have wheel, sorry, not controller, wheel and pedals. And then I changed that, and there was nothing. There was no no kickback, nothing. But then we changed something about incident counts, mid-season, and the whole Discord just melts down. I left. I mean, what is the difference between between those two? That's, I guess, again, I talked about it last podcast, so I'm not going to get involved in it, but it's damned it. Like I said, it's damned if you do, it's damned if you don't. It's just
I
what
think
it
it was
is.
just I think it was the point. The controller ban. I understand why you did it. Because I've heard you talk about it quite a bit. So I understand your headspace where you're at.
Mhm.
Why you made that decision. I don't agree with it. I mean, but that's not my call. You know what I mean? But I understand. I kind of understand why you didn't hear anything during that, and you heard stuff for the other stuff
Yeah.
mid-season. Was generally because lifting the controller ban. What does that do? It doesn't do anything. It ultimately it brings people into A squared. I thought it was a little strange that you made a rule change, but who am I? I didn't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just brought someone new who personally I wanted to race against in A squared. And the other things are actual penalties, like you said, incident count changes, stuff like that, penalties for that. Um, kicking people out of A squared, people who leave, teams that leave, all this other stuff that we've been talking about. They're just a little bit different fundamentally. I think that's where the difference is. Does that make it any more right or wrong? No. But I think that's the different headspace. I think that's the different meanings behind those.
Yeah.
Why you got to hear some from some and some from not.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like I said, it is what it is.
But
I what,
it was kind of like what you said.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, my point is, when I allowed controllers, yes, I agree. Like, I shouldn't have done it. It was a mid-season rule change. I shouldn't have done it, but I did, and I I didn't get blasted for shit. I didn't get lit up. I didn't get nothing at all from anyone ever. It was just like the fucking wheels just kept turning. Everything was fine. But I make a thing saying, hey, if you run into somebody, we're gonna penalize you. Oh my God! What do you mean? If I run into somebody, I'm gonna get penalized? Which I agree.
I had to have been like one of the few guys who didn't actually complain about that, because I was like,
Well,
listen, dude, I race in a fucking league where you either claim it
yeah,
or you're getting fucking penalties.
yeah, And I do agree that that penalty was a little extreme, but at the time our racing was so shit. We needed something. Like we needed something to be able to hold people accountable, and everybody just lost their shit. And I mean, honestly, it's no different to me. I mean, a rule's a rule. Whether you change the points or change, how people finish, or you change the incident point limit, or you change whatever, or you change the controller, it's the same. You're changing rules. It doesn't matter what you're changing. You're still changing rules. And on one side, oh my God, you're changing rules. On the other side, crickets. And that's what I'm trying to get through everyone's head. And and Noah's saying, hey, well, if you want, I can start giving you shit for lifting the ban, on controllers to keep it consistent. I'd love that. I would love for you to tell me, hey, this is bullshit. What do you mean you're lifting controller? This is dumb. It doesn't really make sense coming from the guy that's running a controller, but I mean,
I wasn't in. I don't believe I was in the server whenever y'all had that rule made. But from what I hear, the reason why people actually didn't get upset about it, or some people, because evidently there was only a handful of people that actually ran controller, so they felt like they were the ones being targeted. I don't know how true that is. Obviously, I wasn't here, but that's what I heard. That's what I thought the difference was.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, so Aiden says everyone was silent when we make a change they liked, but when we made a change they didn't like, they complained. You're surprised by that. So I am surprised by that because it was only 2 or 3 people that voiced that they were upset with it, versus a change that, I mean, whether everyone liked it or not, I think everyone just didn't care because we made a rule at the beginning of the season to make it the way we had it, and Briley was the one that asked me, "Are you okay with Noah racing an A squared with a controller?" And I said, "That is fine. We will make that rule change. That is okay. I'm fine with that." And we made that change. So I don't really necessarily say that everyone liked that. I don't. I think that's a false statement. Honestly, I think 90% of people didn't really give a shit. I mean, that's just my honest opinion. And of course, he said that's part of my problem is this wacky logic. I don't understand that because, again, like I said, 90% of people didn't give a fuck to start with. It's a rule that A squared had, and we changed it, and it was, everybody was just like, whatever, we don't care. Like, we didn't really give a shit to start with. We don't give a shit now. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, okay. Well, first off, I'm gonna end up cutting out of here about 3 o'clock. I gotta
Yep.
take a little boy to a football game. But I wanted to just hear me out, okay? Whenever it comes to everybody in the chat and what we're doing here, ultimately, nothing gets fixed. Doesn't matter what happens in the past. It doesn't matter who got screwed by what rule. It doesn't matter. None of that matters anymore. If you want actual change, you have to communicate. And I don't mean through text like you're doing right now. I mean, you need to have an actual conversation with someone, whether that is Ryan, Tom, whoever you can. Hell, talk to me. I don't give a shit. I'll come and tell Ryan to go fuck himself. I don't care. I don't mind. If you need someone to talk to, you need to speak to that person. You need to have an actual conversation. That's the only way change happens. And then once that change happens, you can't hold it against whoever made the rule change later on. That's just fucking childish. So let's fix whatever we need to fix because we all evidently enjoy racing here in one way or another. Whatever series you like racing there. So instead of causing all the drama and all the bullshit and all the nonsense, I like a good trolling every now and again, but come on, let's fucking just a little bit. Let's just tone it down just a little bit and move forward. Move forward.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean,
So,
and my Discord voice chat is always open. I have never received anything from anyone that has any issues. Again, like Fetterplay said, chat is great. You can do a lot of trolling. You can do a lot of joking. You can do a lot of bullshit. But that's not gonna get anything accomplished. Again, you know, come to me, whether it's on this podcast, whether it's personally, you know, one-on-one, no other people. I am always listening. I'm always available to try and, I mean, I want to make every series better. You know, TNT's perfect example. The lobby was fucked up. Thomas Andrews is doing all the lobbies moving forward. Hopefully we fix that situation. You know, same with any other series. Whether it's SNS, you can come to me. You can come to Tommy Withers. You know, that's what I'm here for. Like, but if you do it in the general chat for all 230 members to see, I'm sorry, but that's trolling. I don't care what anyone says. It's you're trolling. Like, no one needs to hear about, you know, oh, this fucking lobby sucks, or this, you know, this admin changed this rule and this admin didn't change that rule, blah 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 blah. Just fucking call me on Discord, or fucking, you know, send me a DM on Discord and say, hey, I want to talk to you. Let's get together tonight at 8 p.m. You know, let's talk, and we'll talk it through. And you know, I feel like out of the 250 members we probably have like 5 or 6 that really need to just reach out to somebody and be like, hey, this is my concerns with this. This is my concerns with that. What can we do? Is there any way to change it? And I may be able to change it. I may be like, hey, I don't know that we can change it this year, but maybe next year, you know, we can make it better. But at this point, just reach out to me. I mean, I'm always available. I'm pretty much on almost every night, so it is what it is at this point.
If you don't want to talk to Ryan,
yeah, talk
I
to
keep myself in on me all the time. I'll take time out of my fucking 10-hour work day every day to communicate with you, either whenever it's most convenient for you. So whatever that is, and I'm pretty easy to talk to. So
he is. So talk to him if you
do.
have to. Let's wrap this thing up. We've been on for like 3.5 hours, so let's wrap this thing up. So Feemster's gone. Half the fucking crew's gone. Kent's still. I think he's going to get him a Fubon
happy ending
gum job.
He's getting a happy ending.
Yeah. He's getting him a
to his
I'm
ice
taking
bath.
my old ass to bed. I'm way past my bedtime. My little boy's got a football game tomorrow at 11. So.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Thank y'all for coming out, and maybe.
Hell of a first podcast to be a part of.
Yeah, tell y'all friends to tune in. But we're out.
Hell yeah.